love what I do. Cards he ain't showing. How much does it cost? I'll buy it. The time is all we've lost. I'll try it. And he can't even run his own life. I'll be damned if you run mine. Sunshine, sunshine, come on. Bells will be ringing.
America's best music, WILE.
Maybe I'm right, and maybe I'm wrong. Well, maybe I'm weak, and maybe I'm strong. But nevertheless, I'm in love with you. Now maybe I'll win, and maybe I'll lose. Well, maybe I'm in for crying the blues. But nevertheless, I'm in love with you. Somehow
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a brand new high school football season, the 21 version of the Cambridge Bobcats tonight, opening the season against the Indian Creek Redskins. Bill Kafuri, John Valentine in a brand new press box, JV.
I worked on it really hard all summer to get it just the way that you wanted it.
Yeah, well, I think we got it now. We got the cushioned seats, the carpeted floors, and
most importantly, the air conditioner.
The air conditioner works. You're exactly right there. As the Cats and the Redskins once again open up a new football season, and this has kind of become a tradition over the last several years.
Yeah, opened with Indian Creek, really the last 6-7 years. This will be year 7, and it's a great matchup. Number one, size of the schools are real similar. Stick to see where you're at this early in the season. Not only on the Buckeye 8 with them, they're also in our region. So, there's extra points involved as well. Plus, back to the old Wintersville rivalries with Cambridge and Wintersville. There's a little extra juice on opening night anyway, but when you put it in that it's Indian Creek, it adds a little bit more to it. Cats
came away with a win a year ago, 24-20, and it typically these two teams have played very close contests, and a lot of times comes down to one big play. You and I were talking about that here before we went on the air, and that could certainly be the case tonight.
I think the teams are pretty evenly matched. I think that Indian Creek has a little bit more experience coming back up front, so that's really going to be a huge benefit for them. But from a skill position standpoint, I think we stack up real well, and I think it's going to be a pretty decent game.
Tonight's preseason brought to you by Mast Tire. Looking for new tires for your ride? Mast Tires in Pleasant City should be your first stop. As the Bobcats come in tonight, new uniforms as well, and a new look as the Cats come in with a blow-up helmet down in the corner, new scoreboard, lots of new things here at the stadium as well, including the bleachers on the far side.
Yep, add a little bit extra seating on the visitor side, but most importantly, they raised it 5 or 6 feet so that you can see the actual game from the first row. Pretty sharp.
Bobcats under the second year of Coach Ray Leak. Last year 4-4, actually finished 5-5, making the playoffs as most teams did this year. Taking on Andrew Connor's Indian Creek Redskins, and Connor been there a long time, 19 years, and experienced one of his few losing seasons a year ago.
Yeah, first one in 12 years, so it was a little bit disappointing. Of course, last year should come down with an asterisk, right, because there was a lot of goofy stuff going on last year. So, that being said, that was probably, their weakest team that since Connor's been there. So he's been pretty consistent and been to the playoffs a heck of a lot as well, and he does a great job for the Redskins.
Hey, give us a quick rundown on some of the key guys that the Bobcats not only lost last year, but some of those key guys coming back.
Well, seniors, of course, really contributed last year with two-time All-Ohioan Justin Bartlett and another senior All-Ohioan Brock Valentine were staples in that offense and really defense for the Bobcats last year. And, of course, losing Logan Mobilini as a running back, Caden Whaley as a receiver. You had Blake Brumfield on the defensive end. You had a lot of guys that really contributed in that senior class. So you got a lot of spots to fill, no doubt. The good thing is Cambridge has a lot of guys coming back that had a lot of playing time on Friday nights.
Yeah, one of the keys there is certainly quarterback Cade Moore. Got a lot of experience as a sophomore a year ago, and hopefully that experience pays off for the Cats this year.
Yeah, we hope so. It should be a huge growth year for Cade Moore. He had numbers-wise and experience-wise, he had a pretty good season last year, especially as a sophomore. He did have some picks. He had some decision-making situations there that only he's going to learn from. So you would expect a huge step forward this year for Caden Moore. And again, I don't want to downplay what he did last year. Still had a really successful season. But I think you're going to see big strides for him. Hopefully we can give him a little protection so that he can improve on those numbers.
Moment of silence here at the stadium tonight for longtime Cambridge coach Charles Fondale. Charlie, a one-time a football coach as well as a longtime girls track coach, very successful there. As our pregame continues here, we'll take a timeout, be back with more pregame after this.
high school football from ABC Sports. Tonight's game is brought to you by Doan Ford, West 40 Auto Sales, WB Green Insurance, Abel's Electric Heating and Cooling, Southeastern Med, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company, Mast Tire, Valentine Insurance, Papa John's Pizza of Cambridge, and Carr-Antill Insurance.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Cambridge City School District Board of Education welcomes you to McFarland Stadium. The Board of Education Superintendent, Principal, and Athletic Department extend to each of you a cordial welcome and we're pleased that you're here tonight. Cambridge High School and Indian Creek High School are members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and abide by the high standards of conduct, competition, and relations with member schools. The student athletes in this game are competitive rivals that respect one another as participants. While play may be fierce, all in attendance tonight, players, coaches, and spectators are reminded that this is a game between young people and appropriate behavior toward all involved is expected. Failure to display respect and courtesy may result in being removed from the event. The officials assigned to this game have been selected and signed according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Tonight's officials include Doug Costain, Aaron Sheen, Sam Jones, Rick Moore, and Chad Kuhn.
Pandemic, but this year you can certainly say that the team is a lot more organized and certainly stronger. A lot of these kids benefited from a pretty good weight program in the off season.
Yeah, that's a huge factor for Coach Leak, and it should be in every program, right? But that's a huge emphasis for him, and let's be honest, it's not going to hurt you. You got to be able to stay in shape and get bigger and stronger. These kids nowadays are all getting bigger and stronger, so to keep up with the competition, you got to be in that weight room, especially in the off season. So Coach Leak's done a really good job with that, and you're right, he's had a full season now to see what he's got at the lower levels, what he's got here, and to install that weightlifting program and to really start to get into the playbook a little bit more and some of those things. So hopefully he feels a little bit more comfortable now. Last year, as we said, was basically a train wreck for everybody involved, but for a new coach coming in June, for goodness sakes, missing the June workouts and stuff, and for him to be able to implement what he did last year and still win some games, pretty successful season for the Cats.
Remind you, tonight's pregame brought to you by Mast Tires in Pleasant City. Check them out for your first stop. Looking for tires, we want to thank all of our game sponsors tonight: Valentine Insurance, Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company, WB Green Insurance, Abel's Heating and Cooling, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Mast Tire, and Papa John's in Cambridge. We talked a little bit in our last set about some of Cambridge's losses, and we've talked about how the Bobcats have gotten stronger, but not necessarily bigger. And a couple of those big guys that graduated last year were the cornerstones, the bookends, if you will, of the Bobcat offense, especially, and the ability to run the ball. That's going to be a concern this year. And of course, the guys we're talking about, the double nickel guy last year, Jimmy John. Yeah. Your son graduated, and on the other side, Colton.
Yeah, it's 6'4" and 6'6", 300 pounds is a lot of meat to lose.
Yes.
In one season. Both of them had a real good season and basically dominated the line of scrimmage all year for the Bobcats, no doubt about it. This year, a little different story. We've got a couple guys that had a lot of experience, and Angelo Rocco and Andy Ogle coming back, both a lot of playing time over the last 2 years. They're going to have to anchor that offensive line with some new faces. And so it's definitely lost a little bit of size, which is going to be a little bit of a concern as the season goes, but tonight as well. Hopefully we can get some of those younger guys to be able to step in and improve quickly as the season moves.
Yeah, the Bobcats won the toss tonight. They elected to take the ball first, and we'll take a look at that Bobcat offense right now. And as you started, we'll finish that front line for the Cats. Andy will move an inside to outside this year. He'll be a tackle on the left side, a junior there at 230. Hunter Williams steps in at one of the guard spots, another junior at 265. Angelo Rocco played a lot of center and some guard a year ago. He'll be in that center spot this year. Sean Harrington, a sophomore, getting the start at the right guard. Braden Jackson, a senior, coming in on the right tackle. And Levin Pulaski, who didn't play a lot of offense last year, he'll be the tight end when the Cats are in that tight end set. And he's a big one, a good-sized target.
Yeah, good hands, good target, and good speed. So, Levin hopefully will be a force for the Cats this year. And I've told people for years that the best offensive weapon for a quarterback is a good tight end. We love tight ends, right? Because they're always open and nobody ever pays attention to them. You have to be able to have good hands if you're that tight end.
Cats a lot of times this year will employ a 3 and 4 wide set, and they got about a half dozen guys you'll see run in and out. Xander Caldwell, Owen Feldner, Jake Valentine, Devin Ogle, Dalton Moore, Caleb Hewison, Bo Stotsberry, Davion Jeffrey, and of course the running backs will pop out there occasionally. Caden Kenworthy, 180-pound senior, and he's stacked. A wrestler who can certainly mix it up a little bit, and Easton Jones, who's coming off of an injury, just a sophomore, but he could be that inside guy that you look for between the tackles.
Yeah, and Easton, even though he did have some injuries, he lettered last year as a freshman, so he saw the field quite a bit last year and would have played more if there weren't some other circumstances. So look for him, like you said, in short yardage situations. He likes to have that ball in his hands, and he likes to find contact, so he's going to go after people.
All that offense led by junior Caden Moore at the quarterback spot. He's got experience at that point, and the keys for him is to grow a little bit this year, show some poise and put the ball on the money. He's got a lot of guys on the outside to pick and throw to, but on the other end of that, you got to rely on those guys to haul it in when you get it close.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key. We've got a lot of depth at the receiver position, a lot of speed, but you got to be able to hang on to the ball. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on Caden as the season moves on, because we've got a little bit more inexperience up front. So you're going to have to rely on those receivers to make sure that they're bringing that ball in.
There come the Cats through the helmet for the first time. A little smoke screen for them as well as they don the new blue jerseys with nice big white numbers that make it easy for us to see.
For the old guys to be able to see, that's right.
Blue helmets, got the big Bobcat on the side of them, white pants, and Bobcats down the side of the pants as well. A new look Bobcat tonight, trying to start another year off. And any significant rule changes this year that we need to be aware of, or?
No, there's some things going on inside from an interior standpoint with some chop box. That's kind of difficult as an official to be able to watch some of that anyway, but they're going to make that a point of emphasis this year to make sure it's not going on outside of the tackles. Other than that, really nothing new. Other than you see the orange beanbags. Yeah. Remember the orange beanbags last year? The officials weren't allowed to touch the ball last year. That's gone, so the officials will be moving the ball in and out. However, we're going to start using those orange beanbags moving forward for fumbles. They used to be blue, so from an official standpoint,
that's the orange.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I don't know why it was ever blue to begin with. Yeah. Orange is certainly easier to see.
Redskins will employ a 4-man defensive front, 4-3, and up front, decent size for them. We watched them a little bit in the pregame, and they're running a lot of different guys in and out of that front four set. So we'll get caught up on those. A couple of them that you probably need to know a little bit: Bryson Bodo and Caleb Bodo at the defensive ends, and you'll hear their name both ways a little bit tonight as well. But another one is Cam Frankie, one of the linebackers in that front four linebacker set, and Lucia Morelli.
Yep.
And you'll hear their names a lot tonight as well. All the kickoffs tonight brought to you by Valentine Insurance on Southgate Parkway in Cambridge. And the Redskins in their road whites tonight, trimmed in gold and red numbers. Will be kicking off to the west end, back deep for the Bobcats. Owen Feldner, the single safety, about the 10-yard line. And to kick off, Gavin Gross for the Redskins. Bobcats not particularly deep in an age where we've seen a lot of kickers booted towards the end zone.
Yeah, Gross is his first year as a kicker, so he doesn't kick the ball ridiculously deep, so that's why they're playing.
And this is going to be short to one of the up guys. It looks like Stotsberry inside the 30 brings it out across the 35 and near the 37-yard line. For the Bobcats that time, Trey Stotsberry on the return. So the Bobcats will open up the night from their own 32-yard line.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that exact kick from Gross all night. He's going to try to find a hole about 20, 30 yards. So I would assume that you're going to see Feldner and some of those up guys be ready to catch that and get as many as they can as quick as they can.
Cats a 3-by-1 set, 3 wides, bunch to the right. Jones in the backfield. They'll flip it out right to Kenworthy. He has it 40, 45, bangs across the 50-yard line, and a Bobcat first down. All first down brought to you by WB Green Insurance. And for one play for the Bobcats, and they have one right there.
Yes, sir. And that's, that was pretty much a staple last year for the Cats, hitting Kenworthy out of the backfield. That way he was already split out.
Same play, right side again to Kenworthy, and first hit that time by Morelli, but Kenworthy with solid hands 2 times in a row. That basically a long handoff. Picked up about 5.
And carried 2 or 3 Redskins with him.
He's probably
initial
as
contact.
physical a player as the Bobcats have.
If he had a little bit more height to him, he would be a monster.
He'll jump into the backfield. Pistol set now with Moore, handing it off to Jones off the left side. Cut down at the line of scrimmage. Cam Frankie slicing in there. Actually a loss on the play of a couple, and Frankie coming in for that linebacker spot untouched. 3rd down and about 7. So the Bobcats will send 3 wides to the left and 1 to the right side. Moore checks that line up under pressure, fires it down the right side, has a man wide open. Caldwell at the 30, 20, 10, takes it in for a Bobcat touchdown, and that was simply a blown coverage. There was nobody out there, and Moore recognized it, Caldwell recognized it, and the Cats score first.
Yeah, and the sideline recognized it. Did you see the coaches going crazy, telling him to hurry up and snap the ball? Great read by Caden.
Yeah, nobody in coverage as Lucas Parson comes on for the Bobcat to boot the extra point attempt.
Number 9, Caden Moore will hold.
Moore on the hold. As the Cats get a warning for a little too much celebration on the sideline.
Huh? Let them celebrate.
Move back a little, huh? So Caldwell and Moore start the season well. A good snap. The hold is good. The kick is no good. Wow, from our angle, that didn't look too bad, but it slid a little bit to the right. So with 10:34 left here in the opening period, the Bobcats strike first, and they lead it 6-0. We'll be back right after this.
Are you paying too much for homeowners insurance? Has your insurance company raised your deductible? Hi, this is John Valentine with Valentine Insurance. Many people can't accurately answer these questions. With many premiums escrowed into mortgages, homeowners don't pay attention to changes to their policies anymore. It's time you visit Valentine Insurance for a true, no-obligation review of your insurance policy. Call 994-1776 or stop by our office at 739 Southgate Parkway in Cambridge.
Back at McFarland Stadium, we have our first scoreboard update this year. All of those brought to you by Schaefer Insurance. Stop by Schaefer Insurance in downtown Cambridge, and the Bobcats in their first possession, 4 plays, 68 yards more to Xander Caldwell, 47-yard touchdown on the 3rd and long play, and simply there was just nobody there in coverage. And the Bobcats, you got to take advantage of when a team makes a mistake, and the Cat did that there.
Yeah, thankfully, Caden heard the coaching staff on the sideline yelling and screaming to hurry up and snap it and look over this way. Great way to start off the season for the Cats.
Connor Theo on for a Valentine Insurance kickoff. Back deep, Sam Coleman, the deep back, stands at about the 5-yard line. Connor Theodosopoulos, he'll approach and boot this one deep down the left side, taken at about the 20-yard line. That was Caleb Bodo, it looked like, and he'll bring it out across the 30, near the 34-yard line. Isaac Robinson, rather, on that carry, and it will be the first possession for Indian Creek, led by Eli Powell. You'll hear Isaac Robinson and Jaden Irizarry in the backfield.
And hopefully we continue to see that kind of kickoff from the Bobcats, because if you can remember last year, Coleman took one deep on us, and he's got some speed back there.
Shotgun start and a direct snap to Powell, and he'll just pick it straight ahead. Not much there. Didn't have a lead back and got about a yard and a half. So second and long.
Yeah, Powell last year ran some Wildcat sets. He wasn't the starting quarterback last year, but they did bring him in, and he has some experience, and he's a big, strong guy, so he likes to run the ball.
Coleman, the guy to be aware of here, the wide out to the left side. Big, strong receiver. Motion that way. They'll hand it off inside. And Irizarry that time, the ball carrier, for another yard and a half, and it'll be third and long. A little misdirection that time as they brought motion to the wide side, tried to go back against that. And a third and long situation. Bobcat defense and a three-man front. Braden Jackson, Connor Mobilini, Andy Ogle up front. And again, a three-wide look by the Redskins. Motion across, and rolling to his left comes Powell. Dodges a couple of defenders in the backfield. Now breaks free back to the weak side. 40, 45, and scampers out of bounds. Enough for a first down. And Bobcat did not do a very good job that time of containing Powell. And he shows what kind of weapon he can be if he gets loose.
Right, and he's left-handed, right? So you got to know that they want to roll him to the left side, and when they did, the Cats just over-pursued, and the right side of the field was wide open for him.
First down by the Redskins, and they'll move it out to their 46-yard line. Bobcats, four-man defensive front. Powell to throw, and right in and out of the hands of Jake Valentine, and he had nothing but green grass ahead of him, and he might have been counting those great blades of grass, because that could have been 6 going the other way. He'd have just had to beat Coleman.
Well, he's blessed with his dad's speed, so I don't know if he would have broke it all the way, but he definitely had some
and
green in front of him.
His mom's hands, I don't know.
Yeah.
Second and 10 with that incompletion. Again, Coleman wide to the left, out of the slot, handoff straight ahead. Irizarry again, and he'll be brought down after a short gain. Kenworthy in there for the Bobcats, and Rocco for the Bobcats. Third down again, and long yardage.
Yeah, so far the Cats are holding their own up front, which is going to be huge key for tonight, being outsized for sure up front.
Coleman and Lucy wide to the left.
And Coleman's been offsides
the whole time. Every play. Powell fakes it, keeps it, and dives ahead across the 50 again on the stop for the Bobcats. Rocco, but it's going to be well short of the line of gain. 4th and 5. And let's see if Creek is going to go for it or not. Timeout on the field by the officials.
And we've got an injury here.
An injury to one of the offensive linemen. That looks like Gavin Donzilla, one of the starters there for the Redskins. And a warm night on the field tonight.
Well, it looks like he's kind of grabbing his knee, so I don't think it was a cramp. A little
early in the game probably for cramps, but it's one of those nights that as this game goes on, you may see that as a factor, and certainly into the second half. The trees at the west end of the stadium, though, have done a nice job of growing so that we got shade over about half of the field.
Well, that might be why Coach Leak wanted to go that way and start on offense and start in the shade tonight.
The sun behind you.
It worked out.
And it did work out.
Yes, sir.
8:20 remaining here in the first period of play. Bobcats lead it 6-0 after an early possession and score. 4 plays, the Cats go 68 yards. Caden Moore to Xander Caldwell. And the Cats trying to hang in here right now and stop the Redskins on their first drive of the night. An injury on the field. We're going to step out for a moment. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
What would you do in the event of a total loss if you couldn't rebuild your house? Did you know that 80% of homes are uninsured? Erie Insurance has guaranteed replacement costs. No matter the cost, Erie Insurance will rebuild your house with the like, kind, and quality material. Call the offices of Carr-Antill today at 740-373-6058 or call or text Jim Antill at 740-995-3244 for a free quote. Carr-Antill Insurance. You're covered with us.
Friends or family outside the area? Tell them they can listen to this game right now online at yourradioplace.com. 97.7 WILE.
Coming out of the timeout, the Redskins look like they're going to punt the ball. Irizarry back to punt. He will. A spiral that's going to be taken by Feldner at the 15-yard line and gets out maybe to the 20 as he was back here along with Davian Jeffrey. And the Cats leading 6-0, 8-11 left here in the opening period. And the Cats once again will take over deep in their own field.
Hey, first defensive possession, in and off the field, didn't give up too many yards, held their own up front. That's some positives for the Bobcats to start the game.
In a game like this, having the lead early is big.
Well, there's, as we said, a lot of these games have come down to the wire. So to be ahead and have the other team scratching and clawing, trying to come back as the game goes is a benefit for us.
Feldner in motion will take the jet sweep, going to the right side, and he gets jacked at the line of scrimmage. Morelli met Feldner there before he could turn the corner. I don't know that he gained anything on that attempt. And one of the things that we've noted about the Redskins, not only in this year's defense, but in past, they're a tough team with their speed to get outside on.
Yeah, they're usually really aggressive up front and at the linebacker position, and they've got a little bit of speed this year. So I would guess
wide look here.
They're going to do a lot of
blitz.
Yeah, they're going to do a lot of blitzing.
And a timeout taken. I don't know. The Redskins take a timeout there. They had about 6 guys in the box, and the Cats only had 5 to block them. So there is a timeout on the field. We'll take it as well, with the Cats leading 6-0 and the ball in their possession. We'll be back right after this.
To all of us was to always be honest and to have a strong set of moral principles. The entire team at Abels strives to make certain that these principles are followed in everything that we do.
That's the Abels difference. Abels Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration. One company, one goal, your comfort.
Friends or family outside the area? Tell them they can listen to this game right now online at yourradioplace.com. 97.7 WILE.
2nd and 10 for the Bobcats here. Again, a 5-wide look. Moore quickly takes it and flips it across the middle and in and out of the hands of his tight end, intended for 11 Pulaski. And Pulaski, good coverage that time by Morelli. As soon as that ball hit him in the hands, he had him, and that's where he had to go with it. There was a defense coming.
Yeah, he had to get rid of it quick, which is going to be basically every pass play. He's not going to have a lot of time this year to be able to dance around.
3rd down, 3 wides left. Here comes the blitz. Forced out of the pocket is Moore. Moving up the right side, lost his footing as he crossed the 25 to about the 28-yard line. He stays on his feet. He might get a couple more there. And another flag came in on the Bobcat sidelines. They've already had a sideline warning. And the back judge came in and let it fly there. We'll see what that is. Looking for some sort of signal.
Well, the Bobcats sideline, a couple of them are clapping over here, so I don't know what that's about.
Personal foul, number 44 of the offense.
Yeah, that's Pulaski. And you and I talked a little bit in the pregame. Levin, a very fiery player, and sometimes to his detriment, and obviously that's the case in that situation. And that was after the play.
Yeah, that's a huge penalty. I mean, that's a 15-yard penalty. Puts the Cats all the way back to the 14-yard line.
So Valentine on in punt formation. Coleman back deep, standing at the Bobcat 45, along with Spencer. Good punt by Valentine, turns it over. Coleman back to his own 44, eludes one tackler, gets to the corner, 50, down to the Bobcat 40-yard line and up the sideline before he's finally taken out of bounds. Coleman that time able to get to the edge of the wall and return it deep into Cambridge territory.
And that's what we're going to have to make sure we do on the kickoffs, is keep it away from Coleman. I mean, that's a heck of a punt right there, but somehow we got to kick the ball away from Coleman as best we can in both sides, on kickoffs and on punts.
So they will start this drive from the Bobcat 30-yard line, and plus yardage here, trailing 7-0 or 6-0, I should say. Redskins will be in 4-down territory. Powell brings him out of the huddle. Got Irizarry in the backfield, shifted to his right side, a wing to the right, slot to the right side. And movement up front by the Redskins. So they'll move back 5 to start this drive. They had to wing left, slot right, and
I'll start number 54 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Redskins, one of those teams who like to run the ball, and you get them 4-down territory. That fits their game plan, but not from 15 yards usually.
No, and Coach Connor's not going to deny that he loves to run the ball. He wants to establish that line of scrimmage.
Handoff straight ahead. Irizarry gets the 5 back and a couple before he runs into a wall of blue jerseys.
Jacob Capehart, number 6, number 7, Jake Valentine on the stop.
Capehart and Valentine there for the Bobcats.
Irizarry picks up 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Got about 6 on the play.
Picked up 6. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Again, Irizarry in the backfield. Now they'll shift a little bit. Frankie this time on the handoff. Moves to the left, makes a nice move, slips in and then out, and takes it inside the Bobcat 20-yard line. Valentine coming up from the defensive back spot that time to make a stop, but not until the Redskins pick up their second first down and move the sticks here inside the red zone.
Yeah, it really wasn't a lot of misdirection on that play. They
just good
before the snap.
Yeah,
right. Before the snap, they had a lot of misdirection, but they came right over to this side, and defensive end must have just got pinched inside.
Tight formation to that left side as well. Foot-to-foot splits by the offensive line. Powell will take the snap and work that way. Huge movement up front, and Powell inside the 10, down to about the 9-yard line. Caden Kenworthy on the stop, but you just look at the push that offensive line's getting on the left side. They're just moving the Cats about 4 or 5 yards off the ball.
Well, and when you only have 3 down linemen, you don't have that extra guy there. You got a couple extra linemen to be able to help on that defensive end. The linebackers got to come up and fill.
J.J. Orlando, the tackle on that side at 265. They've moved a tight end over there as well, and Morelli, he goes about 185. Quick pass out in the right flat and through the hands of Irizarry, and good coverage that time. Valentine was right up on him had he caught that, but it was over his head and will fall incomplete. 3rd down and a yard. So the Redskins here facing 3rd and 1 from the Bobcat 10-yard line. Need to get to about the 9, and they'll go with the full house backfield. 2 tight ends. Quarterback under center, hands it off to Frankie, and behind a couple of running backs, he'll find his way forward for just enough to get the first down. Now marking just inside the 9.
Yeah, short yardage situations, you'll see Creek come out with that wishbone look in the backfield, and basically they're just turning and giving it to the tailback with 2 lead blockers. They do that quite a bit.
1st and goal to go. 4:50 and counting. 6-0 Bobcat lead in jeopardy here, as they say in that tight set. 3 running backs, handoff Irizarry coming to the left side this time, and he'll push the pile down to the 5, maybe inside the 5. 2nd and goal, gain of about 4 right there. Reed Johnson among the Bobcats in on that tackle, but Cats don't have an answer for this power running game right now.
Yeah, and as the game goes, this is not a good sign, because they're going to use that weight and keep pushing against the Cats.
Tight splits inside, and a botched play, but it looks like Powell's going to make the best of it as he got hit by one of his linemen trying to spin out of there. But he'll use his speed to get to the outside. Powell takes it in for the easy score, and it is currently 6-6. So Eli Powell tying things up from 5 yards out.
Yeah, it was a designed run for Powell around the end. I think it was either the guard or the tackle backside tried to pull when they ran into the guy beside him, so it stopped the lead blocker a little bit, but it didn't matter because the Cats didn't have an answer on the outside anyway.
Nobody there. Gross in for the extra point attempt to try to give Creek the lead. A bad snap down low. Gets it up, but able to get it through. Good hold that time by Paul Mazer. And the score stands Creek 7, the Bobcats 6. We'll take a timeout, be back after this.
Do you want to golf for a great cause? Join Southeastern Med at the Cambridge Country Club on August 16th. To learn more and to register, visit seormc.org today.
You're live.
Back at McFarland Stadium, 4:11 left here in the opening period. Your scoreboard update brought to you by Schaefer Insurance. Indian Creek on top now, 7-6, taking advantage of the short field set up by the Sam Coleman punt return. Just a 30-yard drive, but 7 plays to get to the end zone. Eli Powell, the last 5 yards on the ground, keeping it himself. And the Bobcats trying to answer here, and you got to do that without mistakes. Early season, you try to eliminate mistakes. You know they're going to have them, but the Cats in their last drive made a lot of them.
Well, you put yourself in a bad situation with a penalty that you didn't need. That was a 15-yard penalty, which gave him a first down. It was a great punt return by Coleman, right? But a 23-yard punt return. However, we had him stopped, and then a penalty lets them move the ball down even further and gives them an opportunity to score.
Valentine Insurance kickoff. Gross on for the Redskins. Feldner standing at about the 20-yard line. Last time kicked short to one of the side guys. This time a little bit deeper. It's going to go all the way past Davian Jeffrey. He has to chase it down inside the 10. Brings it out near the 15 and then gets hammered. He let that ball hit the ground, and it scooted away from him. And Jeffrey that time found nowhere to go with it. So the Cats will start a little deeper this time. Trailing by a point. 4:06 left here in the opening period. 7-6 Indian Creek, and the Cats at their own 15.
Hopefully moving forward that, we've got some inexperience back there on those kicks and punts. Hopefully they'll learn as this season's going on. Hopefully they'll learn quick. You cannot let that ball hit the ground because you know where it's going to bounce, especially on those kickoffs.
Cade Moore in the backfield has Easton Jones offset to his right side. Takes the snap, looking to his left, fires it deep down the left side. Has a man there, and one-handed grab brought in by Devin Ogle. And that is about as athletic a play as you're going to see in any ball game. And that gets the Bobcats out of that huge hole. That will be a WB Green first down for the Bobcats.
Well, you asked me before the game who's our best receiver. We got a lot of really good ones, but when you combine speed and hands,
that might
I think I told you it was Devin Ogle.
Might be him right there. He'll split out wide to the right side, 4 wides for the Cats. Moore running the option to the right side will keep it himself across the 45 and near midfield. He'll have a gain of about 3. Bobcats showing a variety of spread formation. 3.5 left here in the opening period. Bobcats back on the move. 7-6. They trail the Redskins by a point. 2 wides to the left. Moore in the backfield with Jones. Again, quick snap, looks to his left, now spins to the right, looks down the field, fires it in the right flat, and through the hands of his intended receiver, Owen Feldner, trying to keep a foot in bounds and reach for the ball, and it was just a little wide of him, and the Cats will face now 3rd and long.
That was a little different play. It was a designed, delayed rollout to the right by Moore, and trying to hit Feldner on the comebacker. A little different wrinkle for the Cats.
So 3rd down, call it 6, as the Cats go 3 wide to the left. Moore looking across the middle, pump fakes it, now fires it deep down the right side, intended for Pulaski, and good defensive play that time by Isaac Robinson, able to reach around and just knock that to the ground and bring up 4th down.
Yeah, great play by Robinson to be able to bait Moore into throwing it to where he wanted to.
The Cats look like they may be lining up to go for it here.
Well, and as we've seen in the past, Cade Moore roll out to the side. If he can get it, he can get it. If he doesn't, he punts it.
He'll run to his right, and there comes a flag. We've seen him here with a little rugby-style kick, and the Bobcats had some movement up front. And it will stay 4th down. So, yeah, Moore was rolling to his right, and as you said, he had that. If he doesn't see the seam down the sideline, he'll just boot it away. Might keep the ball out of Coleman's hands, and now the Cats are going to defer to a regular punt formation. Bring Valentine in. Good punt first time out by Jake, but with Coleman back deep, you got to try to angle it away from him. He's already shown what he can do once. And Valentine does indeed angle this away from Coleman, and it'll take a Bobcat bounce inside the 30, now inside the 20, where it will be tapped down. Reed Johnson down there for the Cats to do the chore.
That's what we want the punt to look like.
Yes.
Get it away from Coleman and got a nice roll out of it as well.
Intentionally trying to keep it away from him that time. No spiral, but it was effective.
Right.
And back on the offensive side for the Redskins, they lead at 7-6. With 2:47 left in the opening period, but this time they'll be stuck at their own 18-yard line. For a team that likes to run the ball, this is a little tougher situation when you got 80 yards to go.
A little bit, but when you have a weapon like Sam Coleman, that can change very quickly.
They haven't been able to get it to him, and he is not in on this offensive series. Wow. Inside scissors coming back to the near side, and that misdirection effective there as Isaac Robinson took the inside reverse play and gets it out across the 30 to the 32. And a first down for the Redskins. And Cats were certainly full there, got caught looking both ways.
Well, they got caught, but remember earlier in the broadcast when we said what kind of changes have there been from a officiating standpoint, that looked like a block that should have been called. This was one of the points of emphasis this year. That's why he had that outside so open.
Slot formation to the left and motion across. Handoff inside. Irizarry pounded inside. Might have lost the ball as it did come loose. Irizarry comes out of there, but he didn't have the ball in his hand, and they'll mark it backwards a little bit. Got a yard or two gain, but actually they'll mark the ball at the 34-yard line. So a gain of about 2.5 on the play, but the fumble set him back some. Well, the Cats come out of there with that. That'd have been a huge play.
Huge for sure with the ball in good field position.
Minute and a half left here in the opening period. 3 wide, short side to the left. Powell takes the snap, looks that way, and he'll run it himself, but not very far there. Trey Stotsberry blitzing in there and drilled him before he got started. No gain on that play, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
That was a perfect time for that play call to bring Stotsberry off the edge. And again, Powell is a strong runner, but Trey had a head of steam, and he caught him in the backfield. No gain for Creek.
Coleman checks in. He'll be split to the right side along with Zach Byard. Under a minute to go here, 3rd and long.
And you notice Xander Caldwell is starting to shift over that way to Coleman's side a little bit for safety help.
Match up a little bit speed-wise. Motion across, rolling to his right goes Powell. He'll wind up and load it down the field there, and that one will fall incomplete as it was intended for his wideout Byard, but good coverage by the Bobcats that time. Step for step down the right sideline.
Sure was, but third and 7, left-handed quarterback. Does that make sense to roll to his right and try to throw a ball 50 yards downfield?
Back across his body. That falls incomplete. 33 seconds remain here in the opening quarter. And Irizarry back in punt formation for the Cats. Jeffrey and Feldner stand at their own 30-yard line. Low snap, Irizarry steps, low line drive. That's going to bounce once into the hands of Feldner at the 36. Works to his right 40, out to the 45, and finally knocked out of bounds. And a late flag comes in, I believe a late hit there on the Redskins. Is going to move that one probably into Indian Creek territory. So the Cats get positive yardage on the return, and they'll be beneficiaries, I think, of a late hit.
Yeah. I was going to say Robinson had him wrapped up. I was going to be surprised if they called it on Robinson because he had him wrapped up in bounds, threw him out of bounds, but I guess
Eli Powell, the quarterback out there on the play, got a hit on somebody.
We got to get our shots in when we can.
Don't get too many shots, do they?
That's right.
So that will set the Bobcats up in plus territory at the 36 of Creek. 1st and 10. So the Cats in 4-down territory, down a point. Last play of the first quarter coming up here. The Cats will hand it off inside to Jones, and he'll power his way forward. Not much there. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Not much between the tackles there. Irizarry on the stop for the Redskins, and down to single digits and moving. That will no doubt be the final play of the period as we head to period 2. Creek on top of the Cats 7-6. Stay tuned. We'll be back. More high school football on WILE right after this.
Hi there, it's Bill Arnett with the City Tire Pros Scoreboard Show. Zanesville Blue Devils off to a strong start, 14-0 over Newark in the first quarter. Indian Creek now leads Cambridge 7-6. It's Maysville over Meadowbrook 7-0. Buckeye trail 8, Caldwell 6. The Garraway Pirates so far over John Glenn 7-0. A tie score 7-7 between Tri-Valley and Ashland. Licking Valley and Sheridan 7-7. Rosecrans leading Portsmouth East 7-0. After one quarter, Philo and Athens 0-0. West Muskingum leading Lakewood 9-0. Fairfield Union and New Lex 6-6. It's Monroe Central leading Union Local 12-6. Other games in the area tonight: Ridgewood leading Coshocton 16-0. Crooksville on the road at Waterford, and Morgan at Riverview. More scores in minutes on the City Tire Pro Scoreboard Show. I'm Bill Arnett, ABC Sports.
High school football
from ABC Sports
on WILE-FM, Byesville, Cambridge.
Back at McFarland Stadium, one quarter in the books. 7-6 Indian Creek. Bobcats, though, on the move here. And they are in the short field situation at the 35 of the Redskins, where they'll face second and about 10, actually.
Yeah, I think they got it marked wrong because he did gain a yard on that last play. They moved it.
They give it him the length of a football, basically.
Right.
Cats have shown tonight that they can throw the ball. Over the running game, still a work in progress, at least early on here.
And I think that's going to be the MO as the game goes on for sure, because Creek's pretty stout up front and their linebacker play is pretty good. So our O-line's going to have a tough time handling those guys up front.
Moore with a couple of backs in the backfield with him. Hands off. Jones to the right side, trying to get to the corner. Not going to get there this time, as Cam Frankie slices in there and drags him down for a loss. So a couple of running plays here for the Cats. Net nothing. And 3rd and long, as they'll line up and spread the field to the left side. 3 wides there. Ogle spreads to the right. Dade Moore looking quickly to the left, has Kenworthy out there to 35, spins away inside to 30. Coleman got a piece of him, And Kenworthy's going to give them an opportunity to pick up a fourth down. Got within a couple yards of it. And the Cats facing 4th and 2. They need to get to about the 31, or check that, the 26-yard line.
Well, I would say you're going to see that same situation.
Yep.
Kenworthy to the other
wide
side.
to the right.
Yep.
3-man set there. Moore takes the snap, hands it straight ahead. Big gain that time for Jones as he popped through. And they spread the field. They put an extra defender to the wide side. And really that time, Cam Frankie probably kept Jones out of the end zone as he strikes ahead for another WB Green Insurance first down. 1st and 10, Bobcats. Moore flush from the pocket and will go down on the blitz from the outside. Irizarry slicing in there that time, and Moore really didn't have a chance to escape and look down the field, and the Cats are going to lose about 8 on that play.
Yeah, and that's what we were getting at in the pregame. You're going to have to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. And again, I'm not picking on Caden Moore. He had no idea that he was coming around the end to get him. But I guess the play design's got to be a little bit quicker is where I'm going with it, because they're going to blitz all night long.
Ogle will split wide to the right, 3 to the left side. Man-to-man coverage here as Moore sees the blitz creeping up again, drops back. Pump fakes it, fires it down the right side, has Ogle again, goes up, pulls it in, and a touchdown, but flags come in. That should be on the defense, and it is, as the Bobcats retake the lead, this one from 30 yards out. Ogle again making an athletic play. He got the defender to turn his back, and Ogle reaching up over top of him, pulled it in.
And the defender had no idea that ball was coming.
Well, he didn't even know until it was too late.
Yeah, great adjustment by Devin to be able to sneak over top of the defender, haul it in, and not only haul it in, but also lean over the line of scrimmage as well, or the goal line.
So that penalty will be assessed on the kick.
And that'll be huge.
That'll be big as well.
Yeah.
Lucas Parsons on for the extra point attempt. Cats missed on their first one. Low snap, hold down. The kick is up this time, and it is true. So the Bobcats retake the lead, 13-7, 9:51 left here in the first half. We'll be back right after this.
In today's marketplace, you have many choices for insurance. WB Green Insurance, a representative of Westfield Insurance, is committed to providing you with excellent coverage for your home and auto at a fair and competitive price. Westfield has been in the neighborhood for over 150 years, providing peace of mind and quality insurance products through independent insurance professionals. Sharing knowledge, building trust is Westfield's pledge to their customers. Call WB Green Insurance today.
Back at McFarland Stadium, Schaefer Insurance scoreboard update. Cats retake the lead, 13-7. Devin Ogle, athletic catch, his second of the night. Both of them big gainers. This one for
Both
6 points.
Pretty nice catches,
Pretty nice
too.
catches. Highlight reel catches there as the Cats retake the lead, and Moore with his second touchdown pass of the night. So the Bobcats getting it done through the air. Give a shout out to all those folks listening there, including Randy Baker, Bobcat alumnus, listening and watching up in Columbus. You're one of the Cambridge faithful out there looking around, listening, watching. Give us a shout out as Connor Theo approaches. Valentine Insurance kickoff drives the offense back into the end zone. Theo got all that one. And Robinson stepped into the end zone after, so Creek will be backed up again deep in their own territory. That paid dividends for the Cats the last time as the Redskins unable to get anything going offensively.
Well, two huge penalties right there on that, basically. One on the drive, one on the kickoff. Look, if they don't have that 15-yard penalty on that punt return, we don't get It's far downfield, great field position. And look at the kickoff. That 15-yarder on the kickoff just put the ball in the end zone away from Coleman, and that's what we're going to have to do tonight.
Takes an offensive play out of their book there.
That was great for the Cats.
Two wides to the left for the Redskins. Powell out of the shotgun, takes it, keeps it, eludes a tackler in the backfield, and then works his way back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two. Coming in off the edge for the Bobcats that time, Xavier Jones had a shot at Powell in the backfield and let him slip past him, but no damage done there. Gained about a yard and a half. Second and long. Bobcats make a substitution defensively to get Trey Stottsbury back in. Junior linebacker. Powell on the handoff this time. It'll be C.J. Spencer trying to get around the left end, and he will get up enough to move the sticks. Pulaski on the stop for the Cats. Out across the 32-yard line, and the 5th first down of the night for the Redskins keeps the drive alive. Coming up on the 9-minute mark, 13-7. Cats with the lead. Redskins trying to answer with a long drive.
Creek likes that left side of the line. They're getting big gains over there.
Handoff inside. Irizarry in traffic. Made a couple of guys miss. Got across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of about 3 that time. Second down. Call it 7. Again, handoff, left side outside. Coming up is Spencer again. This time Cats get up on him and stop him for a short gain. Out to the 39-yard line. Now third down and about 4.
Huge third down here for the Cats.
Cats need to come up big here as the Redskins pounding it straight ahead, and inside scissors again. And boy, some trickery that time. I think they ball snatched out of the air on the snap. Ball never got to Powell.
No.
As I think it hit the one running back in the hands is Irizarry, and he handed it off going the opposite way to Robinson, and it will be enough for a first down.
Yeah, going to have to hold your spots. You know that reverse is going to be coming at some point.
That's the third time they've run it already
and
tonight.
It's worked well each time.
Formation into the sideline. Robinson on the wing on the right side, and a timeout on the field, I think.
Yeah, that 74 came off the field. He doesn't look like he feels real well at the moment.
No.
His dinner is getting second light.
Well, the Bobcats ran to the sideline as they allowed time for the player to get off the field in the sub, but it wasn't a timeout. And so the Cats will have to hustle back into position here. 1st and 10 for the Redskins, just shy of the 50-yard line. 7:41 left here in the first half. Powell, low snap, fakes it again, makes one defender miss, but not a second. Again, Xavier Jones coming off the edge, but his miss led to Pulaski's hit, and it was a good one, causing Powell to maybe lose a little bit, but they'll give him progress back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and again, the Cats had him in the backfield and just not breaking down and wrapping up and putting that shoulder right in his gut.
Yeah, Jones will be replaced here for the Bobcats by Lopez. And again on the keeper, Powell. And, hey, talk about a good substitution. Lopez comes in and makes the play right there.
Impact. That's what we want.
No Lopez.
Yard loss on the play.
Yard loss there, 3rd and long. And, again, this is a Redskin team that prefers to run and not throw. And you get them into a situation where they have to throw it. Could be to the Bobcats' advantage here.
Well, as long as you've got deep coverage over the top to not let Coleman get behind you, you've got a shot.
Back to pass. Powell lobs it down the left sideline, and Feldner will run under that one and grab it for the Bobcat INT, bringing it back out across the 30 to near the 35. Owen Feldner with the INT, and the Bobcats get the turnover and turn the tables. on the Redskins. 6:16 left here in the opening half. Cats with the lead, and now the ball again. And a chance to maybe tack on more points before halftime.
Yeah, I mean, they're going deep. Obviously, turns into be what would have been basically a punt anyway on fourth down. However, last time they punted, we didn't cover the darn thing, and it got an extra 10, 15-yard roll. So great job by Owen to be able to adjust to that.
Bobcats hustling off the sideline offensively. Moore along with Jones and Kenworthy in the backfield. 1st and 10 right hash. 6-man defensive front. Moore will fake it inside, roll to his left, square the shoulders, throw it out into the flat, and just couldn't get enough on that one. Intended out there for Davion Jeffrey, and Moore under heavy pressure that time by Robinson.
If you're gonna roll him out to his weak side, you're gonna have to have somebody dragging from the backside. So
a lot closer, a lot shorter than that.
Yep.
2nd and long. 3 wides left. Caldwell splits wide to the right. He'll draw Coleman in coverage. Moore takes the snap. Quarterback draw. Spins his way forward, and a flag comes in right in the middle of that fray. That typically means offensive holding, and that's a drive killer. 6:03, clock stops, and that is the call.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
10 yards from the spot of the foul will move the Bobcats back inside their own 30-yard line to the 24. Big penalty there. You'll replay the down, but you got a lot more yardage to pick up now. 2nd and about 20. Cats are going to need some help here.
Yeah, that quickly changed from good field position to now you're in a hole.
3 wide to the left. Ogle shifts up right side, and now Caden Moore looks at the play clock, said, no, we won't get this one off in time. I'll take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 5:41 left in the first half here. 13-7. Cats on top. Back in 30 seconds.
Tires in Pleasant City should be your top of the line inventory, including Bridgestone, Cooper, Mastercraft, and so much more. Stop in at 519 Main Street in Pleasant City to see Chuck and Brandy. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. or call 740-685-1199. Mast Tires, the best place to retire.
Friends or family outside the area? Tell them they can listen to this game right now
online
at yourradioplace.com. 97.7 WILE.
Back at McFarland Stadium, late second period. Cats on top 13-7. Another shout out here. I got another loyal listener out there, Ryan Kafuri, Bobcat alumnus.
Who's that?
Yeah, he predicted the pick. He said, here comes a pick on the next play. He said pick 6. Well, that didn't happen, but the Cats got the pick. Now can they do anything with it? 2nd and long. Moore rolling to his left, looks out in that left flat and had a man and in and out of the hands. Bo Stotsberry, he was breaking back to it, and that would have got most of that penalty yardage back, but he could not haul it in. And that's the second part of a quarterback being able to get the ball on the money. You got to haul it in.
Yeah, that's a huge play there. The Cat, like I said, we need to get 10 yards in 2 plays here to at least get back to the original line. That would have done it and given us a chance to convert on 3rd down.
You'd have had a 3rd and maybe 8 or 9.
Sure.
And you might be able to pick it up. There's not many plays in that 3rd and 20 part of the playbook.
Yeah.
Cats spread the field, 3 to the left. Kenworthy in motion. Moore quickly flips it out to Caden. He slips one tackler, still on his feet, 25-30. Skips another one, 35-40. Down the left sideline. There is nobody back there in a white jersey, and Kenworthy going to take it to the house. I don't see any laundry on the field, do you? Far sideline. And there is a flag at the line of scrimmage. Illegal shift. And that one's going to come back. What looked to be a great play by the Cats turns out to be disaster. And I think it was Kenworthy that illegally shifted.
And it was on the far side.
Yep.
Kenworthy was on our side.
He lined up over there and came across.
Here's the problem. They weren't set. They were running out of time. Everybody was running around trying to get set before the play clock ran out. But here's the problem, though. The officials have been letting them move around a little bit prior to the snap. They've been offsides a couple times. They let them do that in the first quarter. Now they're going to start throwing the flag. Look, a foul's a foul.
Foul's a foul.
Right? It doesn't matter. But if you're going to do that, then be consistent and
it
call it in the
hurts
first
more
quarter,
now.
too.
You know, if that's an incomplete pass, nobody says anything.
Right,
but
sure.
the fact that it was a big play touchdown, it's huge.
My goodness.
The Cats back up 5 more. Now it's third and a city block. And Stottsbury will join a threesome to the left. And Moore will fire this one as far as he can. And he has a man caught down there by Jeffrey. He'll break the tackle and take it to the house anyway.
What a great. Who cares about a penalty?
Yeah, we'll just do it again. 64 yards.
How about that?
Touchdown by the Cats. And Moore just literally threw that one as far as he could. And Jeffrey ran under it, caught it in stride. Coleman dove for him, and that was it. Taking it to the bank from there on out. And Caden Moore is third touchdown pass tonight. He's having a prolific first half.
Sure is. That was, and Davion has some speed. I mean, there's not going to be too many guys that are going to be able to catch him if he does get loose.
Extra point attempt coming up here. Parsons, as the Cats need to run on an additional blocker up front. 5:05 left here. Good snap, hold down. Parsons gets this one straight and true. And the Bobcats extending their lead 20-7. We'll be back right after this.
Pushy, high-pressured salespeople? Today we have Bill Wilson, sales manager from Abel's Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration. Bill, what makes the Abel's sales team so different?
We treat the people we talk to just like we like to be treated. We describe what, in our opinion, are the best choices for the customer in their home. We answer any questions they might have and outline the excellent financing options that are available to them.
That's the Abel's difference. Abel's Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration. One company, one goal, your comfort.
High school football
From ABC Sports.
on WILE-FM, Byesville, Cambridge.
Back at McFarland Stadium, another Schaefer Insurance scoreboard update. Cats 20, Creek 7. And the third Moore touchdown pass. This one to Davion Jeffrey. He's hit 3 different receivers, all for touchdowns. Caldwell, Ogle, and now Jeffrey. And a couple of those big plays. And Moore having a pretty good night so far. First half, nearly 200 yards passing.
Yeah, 198 I've got him for.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 192, but still pretty darn close.
That's not bad for a half of action.
Right.
Cats on for the Valentine Insurance kickoff. And this will be Connor Theodosopoulos, and no penalty here. He'll have to kick it from his own 40, and Coleman back deep, and the Cats have been trying to keep the ball away from him.
Yeah, it actually has Powell back deep. Coleman's not on the field.
Yeah, you're right. Powell back there at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, I see him over on the sideline trying to catch some air.
And they'll boot this one down the right sideline, and Isri will catch it at 20-yard line. And out near midfield, or near the 30-yard line, middle of the field, the Bobcats will converge on it. Capehart on the stop for the Bobcats. So the Redskins, with 4:58 left, take over at their own 31-yard line.
Good coverage there by the Cats on that kickoff, too. I mean, Theo, he's not kicking it, into the end zone, but, boy, he puts it up really high enough for that coverage to get down there and swarm on the ball. If we can give them the ball at the 25, 30-yard line after kickoffs, we're going to be okay with that.
First and 10. A team that likes to run the ball here late in the half, down a couple of touchdowns. Powell takes the snap. Here comes that scissors play. Not this time. Not so fast, my friend. As the Bobcats come up with the answer this time. Bo Stottsbury on the stop there. They've seen that about 3 times before.
And that's why you've seen the last 2 times it's been run that we've been able to recognize.
Cats recognize the formation and the action on that reverse play. That's hurt them earlier tonight, but that's been the only big play the Redskins have been able to come up with. They lost yardage there, 2nd and 13. That wing to the right side. Powell takes the snap, and that one partially deflected, I think, at the line of scrimmage, and might have been Xavier Jones got a hand up on that one and falls incomplete. 3rd and long. Cats could get the ball back in pretty good field position here at the end of the half.
That would be a huge defensive possession, that's for sure. If you could get them 4 and out here, 3 and out, and get the ball really back at the pretty decent field position with 4 minutes to go.
And again, their main weapon, Coleman, not on the field offensively here. 2 wide to the left. Robinson in motion that way. Powell rolls and fires it into no man's land, incomplete, stopping the clock with 4:17 to go. And a punt situation here, and the Cats should get pretty good field position out of this exchange.
Now, here's where you have your conversation with Jeffrey back there. Hey, listen, young man, I know you're excited. You just got your touchdown, but you have to catch this ball. Do not let it hit the ground and roll another 20 yards. This is a huge field position play for the Bobcats.
Rosari back in punt formation. Feldner, Jeffrey back deep. Good snap. Got away with it. Low punt is going to hit and die around the 45-yard line. Cats didn't have a chance to get up on that one as there was some pressure on the kicker that time. The Cats will indeed, with 4:07 left, leading 20-7, have an opportunity here with pretty good field position. They'll start this drive at their own 41.
It would be real nice to be able to establish the line of scrimmage a little bit on this drive, eat up a couple minutes on the ground, and then still have that pass in your back pocket for a quick strike if you need to. Or
just strike quick and get another 6 on the board.
Look, you're never going to be upset about a touchdown by any means.
4-minute mark of the second period, and the second period has belonged to the Bobcats. Pistol formation. Moore fakes it, throws it, hits Pulaski on the low cross underneath, and fumbles the ball. And the Redskins will pop on that one. Pulaski caught it, fighting for extra yardage, puts it on the ground, and Krieg comes up with it. C.J. Spencer. And just like that, the Bobcats go from being in a great situation to it's having their back against the wall.
That changed quickly.
Wow. Pulaski had to reach up high for that, did bring it down, but got stripped of it. I'd like to see a replay of that to see if he clearly had full possession of that, but that didn't happen in high school. The Redskins again with a short field. That's how they scored earlier tonight, and they'll start this drive at the Bobcat 37. Powell with 2 wides to his left. Takes the snap, fakes it inside, rolls to his left. Under quick pressure, spins away from one defender. Not a second one, though. Jacob Capehart came in there. Stottsbury came up quickly and made Powell pull it down. He got lost on the play back near the 40-yard line.
Well, Cats defense going to have to step it up again. This is a huge, you thought the last defensive possession was big. This one's even more important because now you're quickly running out of time to get to the half.
2nd down, long. Clock continues to wind down. 3:23 and counting. 2 wide to the left. Powell out of the shotgun, takes the low snap, looks out there, and tries to run that way. And again, the Cats collapse on him and sack him. And a host of Cats there that time. Bo Stottsbury, Johnson on the stop there.
And Coleman's back in the game for the Redskins, and they were looking for him deep on that play, but pressure by the Bobcats, they're sending those linebackers and getting in the backfield, and Powell doesn't have a lot of time to get comfortable.
Coleman split wide to the left. Bobcats giving him a little cushion there and bumping him underneath. 3rd and long. Powell drops back, looks that way again, fires it across the middle. That's in and out of the hands. Levin Pulaski again. That time, that couldn't have been thrown more to him, and I think it might have been tipped maybe at the line of scrimmage, making it a tougher play, but I'm sure he'd tell you he probably should have had that one as well.
If you can remember back to Shenandoah last year, Levin had a great pickoff from the middle linebacker spot and returned it for a TD.
Pick six.
So again, we talked before off camera that he's got some speed. He's on the track team, so he's got some wheels, so he can take it to the house if he does get it.
Will call a timeout here as the punt formation set up 2:33 left to go in the half. We'll keep it here for this timeout. 20-7. Bobcats with the lead. They look to get it back here, but certainly won't enjoy the field position they may have had earlier. But Cats showing some signs of good things here in the first half. Struggled a little bit early, but they've found some speed down the field. And lots of them.
And most impressively, in my mind, is they've made some adjustments on defense. Early on, Creek was establishing that line of scrimmage. They were moving the ball, and we're getting our linebackers more involved now. We're starting to stay home, and as you call it, that scissors play, that sort of a reverse out of the backfield. We're staying home now and picking up those and not giving the big gains. So, props to the defense here so far. And, Eli Powell, offensively throwing the ball, he's attempted 7 passes and hasn't completed one yet. So that's great news for the Bobcats.
Irizarry back in punt formation. Bobcats got a couple of guys stand on the 10-yard line. And it'll just pooch it to the right side, and it'll take a Redskin bounce inside the 10 down to about the 5. And so the Bobcats will be backed up at their own 5-yard line with 2:23 left here in the first half. So the Cats have to be careful here again, yet that they don't turn it over late here in the half. Defense came up big that time.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
On the short field situation.
And now at the 5-yard line, you certainly don't have room for error here. Now only 2.5 left, basically.
Redskins have 2 timeouts left, so they could force the Bobcats here to maybe get in a punt situation. But the Cats are going to come out here and spread the field. Trey Stottsbury in the backfield along with Moore. 2 wides each way. Movement up front. And
on the defense.
See if the defense encroached a little bit there and give the Bobcats a little bit more cushion here, making it 1st and 5 yards.
That's huge. You don't realize how important 5 yards is when you're at the 5.
At this point on the field, you're exactly right.
Yeah, especially when the Cats are in shotgun every play. Yeah. Caden Moore was standing on the goal line.
4 wide for the Cats here again. Pulaski steps out as the Cats bring an extra wide receiver in. Moore takes the snap, steps back, fires it quickly, has Kenworthy at the 15. He'll fight his way forward and finally be brought down. Shane Lucy out there along with Coleman. And that'll move the sticks for Bobcats. Another WB Green Insurance first down. And keeps the clock running, more importantly, down to the 2-minute mark. 3 wides left, 2 to the right for the Cats. And movement again up front. And let's see if the defense was induced this time.
The far side official does have it on the defense, but they're coming together to make sure they got the same story.
Yep. One of the Bobcat wideouts at that time. And, the high school officials doing the same thing they do everywhere else, calling your name or your number out. That one, number 3 for the Bobcats. So we'll set them back 5, 1st and 15. And a timeout on the field. I didn't see who called that. Must have been Creek, yes. Creek will take that timeout. Just a short one here, and we'll hold on here so the Cats can get to the halftime break with this lead. Make a couple of adjustments. You got to like what they've done here in the first half.
Absolutely. If they can go in 20-7, they're going to feel real good about their chances because Eli Powell's a pretty athletic guy, and he's a hard-nosed runner, but so far 7 incompletions, and he hasn't completed a pass to their biggest weapon, who is Sam Coleman. Hasn't touched the ball yet on the offensive side.
Touched it on the 1 punt return, and that was a big one.
Exactly. They haven't got the ball in his hands on the offensive end, which is exactly what the game plan was coming in. So if the Cats can go in with a 2-score lead and not give up anything here inside of 2 minutes, they're going to feel real good about that.
Cats a 3-by-2 set here coming out of the timeout. First and long, and movement up front again coming out of the timeout, and that one's on the Cats again. And that's Jeffrey, who wanted a quick start. You don't think the ball might have been going to him, right?
He knew he was going to get a long one again.
Yeah. Well, the Cats have shown some explosiveness here. As Coleman checks out, it is man-to-man coverage on the outside. If Moore has time to throw, he's been able to find people here. Fires it in the slot and through the hands of Jeffrey. And yeah, he knew he was going to be the go-to guy there, and that time didn't haul it in. And when you're in man coverage, if you can beat your guy inside there, there's nobody behind him if you can catch it.
All you have to do is catch the ball.
Yep.
Catch the ball is so important here because it makes the clock run, and you're one step away from breaking it if you bring that in.
Cats will stay in that 5-wide look. Second down and very long. And they'll back off into the zone, throw it underneath, and that is completed. And getting out of bounds for the Bobcats is Trey Stotsberry. Takes it on the left hash, gets it out near the 15.
Yeah, Trey's got to understand what's going on here with the time. He's got to stay in bounds on that.
Third down and long. 1:49 left on the first half clock. 20-7. The Cats with the lead and the ball, but not the field position. And again, it looks like the Redskins show man, then they'll drop off into zone. Moore back to pass, pump fakes it, fires it back across the middle, intended again for Pulaski, and in and out of his hands, and coverage that time by Cam Frankie. And the Cats will face fourth down and a punt situation.
Yeah, really couldn't have been a worse possession for the Bobcats there. 3 penalties, 2 penalties, going out of bounds on an easy play that we should have stayed in on. So now you have to punt it where, if he would have stayed in bounds there, we would have ran off another 40 seconds and not given Creek a lot of time.
Coleman not in on this punt situation as Valentine boots it down the field. It will go into the hands of Eli Powell at the 45, up to the 40, and inside the 30-yard line, down the left sideline, finally drug out of bounds. And again, the Redskins are going to be in great field position for the third time this half. They've been able to take advantage of it once. They have one timeout and a minute 30 to try to close the gap here at 20-7.
Yeah, that did not work out well for the Cats. Now only a minute 30. Doesn't matter what kind of offense you're running from the 20-yard line. They certainly have an opportunity to punch it in here.
Plus formation or plus field position situation again here at the Cambridge 21-yard line. And they'll flop the formation 2 wide to the right side as Eli Powell out of the gun with Irizarry on his right. Low snap, hands it off Irizarry straight ahead, and powers his way through a couple of Bobcats. Harrington
Number 67, Sean Harrington
on the first hit that time, but that'll get the clock moving. One timeout left for the Redskins.
You notice that snap keeps coming back lower and lower on Powell. Hopefully
that went up high. Irizarry again trying to get outside left, bounces off of one tackler, but not the second wave. Pulaski and Harrington again, and the Redskins will have to burn their final timeout here with 56 seconds left in the half. Third down and about 6 facing them when we return. Cambridge on top 20-7, and we'll be back right after this.
Do you really think that an insurance company who promises quotes in a few minutes has your best interest in mind? Do they really know you and what coverages you need? Hi, this is John Valentine with Valentine Insurance. We take time to learn about you and your insurance needs so you can feel comfortable that you're receiving the right coverages at the best possible prices. Find us on Facebook, stop by our office, or give us a call at 994-1776. Valentine Insurance, a partner you can depend on.
Friends or family outside the area? Tell them they can listen to this game right now
online
at yourradioplace.com. 97.7 WILE.
Back at McFarland Stadium, player down on the turf here, leg cramps. And early season, that's not uncommon. You see a lot of that as the game wears on, and it is a warm and humid night, and that's Irizarry, one of the two-way standouts for the Redskins. And to start getting leg cramps in the first half, that's something that's probably going to hamper you the rest of the game.
Yeah, and a huge blow for the Redskins because Irizarry is also their leading rusher so far in the game. So, again, we were talking off air during that timeout. 3rd and 6 here. You figure they have to throw the ball, right? Because if they run it, clock's going to keep going.
Hand off on the jet sweep. They hand it off to Robinson and trying to get up the left side, gets banged out of bounds, but short of the line of gain. That's if they keep him in bounds there, that's a huge play, but they'll stop him short of the line to make.
Wow, from here it looked like his forward progress was definitely stopped inbounds. You would think that they would have kept him in bounds. But
the Cats defense trying to come up big here once again here in the first half. Powell takes the snap. Here comes that scissors play again. Robinson spins away from one defender, but not the second or third wave as the Cats blue wall that time held its ground. And a lot of Cambridge jerseys underneath there. Kenworthy, Jones among them, and that's going to turn it over on downs and give the Bobcats back the ball here with just 39 seconds left.
And you talk about dodging a bullet. That was a huge defensive stop for the Bobcats. But, you know, if you're the Redskins and you got Powell that's pretty darn athletic and's got some speed, why wouldn't you just get him out here in space?
Try to get him on the edge, but unable to do that. The Cats just have to be able to run the ball, though, and like in that last series, and even this one, obviously, with just 39 seconds left, you got to get the clock in motion and get going.
Hold on to the ball. Yes. There will be no turnovers here, but Creek...
Cats will just take a knee this time to get that clock in motion, and they will. Should be able to do it right there. They'll let the last 30 seconds or so wind down and get us to the halftime break. So first half of action tonight favoring the Bobcat 20-7 as we head to the halftime break. Stay tuned. We'll catch you up on scores from around the area, have our halftime report brought to you by Papa John's, and come back with our stats, scoring, and more commentary on the first half after these messages. 20-7, Cats on top at the break. We'll be back in a few.
Hi there, it's Bill Arnett with the City Tire Pro Scoreboard Show. The Zanesville Blue Devils shutting out Newark so far 28-0 in the second quarter. Cambridge leading Indian Creek 20-7. Meadowbrook 14 unanswered points now leads Maysville 14-13 in the second quarter. It's Buckeye Trail 22, Caldwell 6. Garroway leads John Glenn 14-0. Ashland over Tri-Valley so far in the second quarter 14-7. It's 14-7 Sheridan over Licking Valley. Portsmouth East has now tied Rosecrans 14-14 in the second quarter. Philo leads Athens 13-0. West Muskingum shutting out Lakewood 25-0. It's Ridgewood 37, Coshocton 0. Fairfield Union and New Lex tied at half 6-6. Monroe Central and Union Local 12-12 in the second quarter. And Riverview leading Morgan 13-0 in the second quarter. More scores in minutes on the City Tire Pro Scoreboard Show. I'm Bill Arnett, ABC Sports.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
From the Ohio News Network, this is the Ohio Education Association Tonight in high school football.
20-7. You're listening to our halftime report, brought to you by Papa John's on Southgate Parkway in Cambridge. Bill Kafuri, John Valentine. As the Cats enjoying a 20-7 halftime advantage. Cambridge getting on top first tonight. Taking the opening kickoff. 4 plays, 68 yards, and again, the big part of that pass play from Caden Moore to Xander Caldwell, 47 yards. Extra point attempt, no good, but the Redskins would come right back. 4:11 of the opening period, 7-6 after a Eli Powell 5-yard run. The kick made it a 1-point game in favor of Indian Creek, but second period belonged to the Bobcats, JV. Through the air, again, Moore striking with Devin Ogle, 30-yard pass play for a touchdown. And then I guess a repeat. We got the instant replay as he found Davion Jeffrey 64 yards after the Cats had a touchdown pass play called back. So how many times do you get to see that? 2 plays in a row, basically. And a quick strike for the Bobcats to make it 20-7. And really amounted to about a 3-play drive for the Cats to cover that distance.
Yeah, Cambridge had a couple really ugly drives deep in their own territory there in that second quarter that could have got them in real big trouble. Number one, the long pass play you're talking about to Jeffrey, we had a couple penalties. It was 3rd and long, and Caden Kenworthy takes a real quick pass out of the backfield, takes it all the way. It's called back for an illegal shift. Very next play, Jeffrey takes it to the house. That could have really bit him. And then those last 2 possessions at the end of the half could have also given Creek a couple of scores. And this game we could be behind real quick if we don't convert on those late in that second quarter.
As much as the Bobcat offense certainly was exciting and electric in that first half, the defense has maintained that advantage.
They really did. And the defense, as I had mentioned earlier, that's really been the difference in the game so far. Now, Creek hasn't been real explosive on the offensive end, which is, with some of the playmakers, you'd figure that they'd get the ball in Coleman's hand and some other guys. Spencer only touched the ball 1 or 2 times. I would think that they'd want to get the ball in those guys' hands, so they haven't been real creative on the offensive end. And look, Coach Connor, over the 18 years he's been there, hasn't been real creative, but he's been real successful. But when you're not being successful, you got to do something a little bit different. And I would guess that Creek would come out and be a little bit more creative in the second half and try to catch the Cats off guard to try to score quick. But yeah, credit Cambridge's defense for a really stellar second quarter for sure. And then once they got their feet wet, really later on in the first quarter, had a real successful half so far.
Yeah, Creek's only real scoring drive was only a 30-yard drive set up by the Coleman punt return. So they had a short field. They had a couple of opportunities with that short field as the game wore on there in the first half, unable to take advantage of that. Early in the game, though, Creek was basically pounding the ball on the Bobcats. They were having their way up front. Cats have made a couple adjustments defensively, getting some penetration, coming off the edge a little bit. That hasn't been the case. The one play in the first half that stands out to me that Creek had success with was that little inside reverse. We called it a scissors a couple of times, but the Cats have defended that well the last few times. So, yeah, Creek's going to have to turn the page on the playbook to have any success here in the second half.
Going to have to do something for sure. And again, credit Cambridge's defense for recognizing, starting to hold their ground on that scissors, that cross play, to be able to, those defensive ends, those outside linebackers, to be able to hold their spots, because it's coming back to you at some point. You're not involved in the play anyway if it goes clear to the other side. So just relax a second and make sure that it clears. And they adjusted much better to that as the game went on.
Well, on the reverse of that, the Bobcats at some point tonight, you're ahead 20-7. At some point tonight, you have to run the ball, and you're going to have to run it somewhat successfully to keep the ball away from the other team and let that clock run. You can't be up 20-7 or 30-7 and still throwing the ball and stopping the clock. You're going to have to come up with some way to effectively run the ball.
Yeah, at some point you're going to have to, and my guess is that it's going to have to be Caden Moore's going to come from him, because get him out in space a little bit. He had a lot of yards last year in that same situation. Remember that little pass, that run pass option where he'd start running and just kind of click it out to the side. I think you're going to see a little bit more of that to be able to open that middle up a little bit, and then maybe be able to pound it a little bit as you move forward into the fourth quarter. But yeah, you're going to have more of a balance. I don't think it's any question about that, especially when you get a lead. You want that clock to be ticking. I would guess you're going to see Caden Moore run the ball a little bit more. But, as a team, you take 3 rushes away from Caden Moore, we've only run the ball 4 times. And it's been Easton Jones 4 times for a total of 1 yard. And Caden Moore technically has 3 rushes for -5 yards. So the Cats with 7 rushes for -4 yards in the first half. That's not going to play as the season goes on.
No. While the Cats have had it 7 times, they've scored 3 touchdowns. They did turn it over once on a pass play where they had a completion and then put the ball on the ground. Indian Creek, similarly, 7 possessions, and they've turned it over 1 time too on a deep interception there by Feldner for the Bobcats. But other than that, a little bit of a punting game. Cats have punted it 3 times. Creek has punted it 4 times and turned it over on downs. And the Cat defense has been the cause of that a couple of times. So if the Cambridge defense can continue to hold their ground, and the Bobcat offense, although the Cat defense will start the second half on the field, if they can give the Cat offense maybe some decent field position, Cambridge has certainly shown the ability to throw the ball. When Moore has time, he's had a successful night putting it up.
And I think that's going to be the key. When he has time, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. And you saw he got hit hard a couple times from pressure he didn't even see. So they're going to keep bringing those linebackers and bringing some stunts. But Moore, 10 for 17 in the first half for 207 yards. Pretty efficient. And really 10 for 17, 7 incompletions. 3 or 4 of them were drop balls. Yeah. So he's been pretty accurate as well. But, however, also credit Devin Ogle for making a couple really nice catches too. So it kind of evens itself out. But, yeah, Caden was pretty solid in that first half.
Well, you notice, and Moore was effective when he got rid of the ball quickly. And even some of those deep passes were passes that, he just laid it out there, caught the ball off the snap, and just laid it out there and let his receiver run to it.
The advantage is going to be to the receiver when they're playing press coverage and they don't have a safety over the top deep. It's one-on-one, and the advantage always goes to the receiver. You just take that ball and flop it up there and let him run underneath it.
Well, and the Cats have shown real good speed on the outside, enough so that, most teams aren't going to be able to match up with every one of those guys. If you're going to go man-to-man out there, we're going to match up somebody that you're not going to be able to stay with.
Yeah, we've got some team speed. There's no doubt about that. And you've seen it from several different guys. It's not just one guy. You've had 4 or 5, as we talked before the game, and scouting reports and all that kind of stuff. The Cats are deep in receiver. And when you have a quarterback that is accurate and is improving and is only a junior, you're going to continue to see some of that action as long as you can give him some time up front and make sure that he doesn't have to have happy feet and try to get rid of the ball too soon. I think you're going to continue to see that as the season moves.
You're listening to our halftime report brought to you by Papa John's of Cambridge on Southgate Parkway. 20-7, the Cats lead it at halftime. We're winding things down here, getting ready to get underway this second half. We'll take one more break. Back with more football action on WILE Cambridge right after this.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
Welcome back. McFarland Stadium as halftime winds down. Brought to you by Papa John's of Cambridge on Southgate Parkway, 20-7. Bobcats with the lead. 3 long bombs. Caden Moore to Xander Caldwell, Devin Ogle, and Davion Jeffrey. And the Cats able to convert 2 of the 3 extra points. And that is the margin of difference right now. So as we've talked a little bit here during halftime, John, about the Cats, what they need to improve on as this game goes forward, and certainly the season goes on, is to come up with some sense of a running game, a little bit more ball control. The defense has played well tonight, maybe better than we had expected they would, especially early on with Creek's ability to run the ball early, but they weren't able to sustain that, and the Cats defense has stonewalled them a couple times.
Yeah, that is certainly the biggest surprise so far. Maybe it has to do with Indian Creek's scheme, how they're so run heavy, and you can read the keys a little bit. It's a little bit easier to relax and know how to play defense when they're only doing one part of the offense. They're not throwing the ball. So, that helps from a defensive standpoint when you can just put your ears back and go after them. However, really impressed with the way that they reacted, the way that they adjusted as that first half went on. But you're right. Moving forward, running the ball, we knew running the ball was going to be an area that we need to really improve on during the season. It was going to be a struggle, especially early. You got some new linemen involved. You got some new running backs involved. So timing's not there, and experience isn't there. So that's going to be a work in progress. But if you want to compete, you're going to have to be able to improve running the ball.
Improve facilities for us here in the opener of the season. New press box facilities for us here, and very nice, especially the AC part of it this time of the season. Is tonight's opening time temperature pretty hot, and I want to thank those people listening out there, including those who sometimes can be critical of our work. Matt Reed.
They do that?
Matt Reed.
Oh, well.
Texting me here and wondering why I'm not studying for our fantasy football draft tomorrow. Can you imagine
You have
that?
to consider the source.
I know.
Come on.
He's home studying and listening.
He's probably on
no
the
doubt
golf course.
enjoying a nice adult beverage while he does that. But he'll pay the price tomorrow when I steal a couple of guys from him in the draft. 20-7, Cats with the lead. As we head to halftime, we want to thank our sponsors for tonight's game one more time. If you are enjoying it, either listening to us on the radio or watching the live stream online, if you didn't know you could do that, certainly you can at yourradioplace.com. There's a link there you can check out at YRP TV on YouTube. But I want to thank our sponsors, Valentine Insurance, Doan Ford, patrons, Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company, the WB Green Insurance Company, Abel's Heating and Cooling, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Mast Tire, and Papa John's in Cambridge. So the Bobcat special teams heading back out on the field. And kickoffs tonight, all brought to you by Valentine Insurance on Southgate Parkway in Cambridge. Connor Theodosopoulos doing the chore. And it looks like Eli Powell back deep for the Redskins. As Theodosopoulos boots this one away, it will be Powell back at his 13. Slips as he heads straight ahead. 20, 25, and right into the waiting arms of the Bobcats special team. Dalton Moore and Connor Myers hustling down to make that play for the Cats. So Eli Powell brings his team back out on the field. Didn't see a lot of different looks from them on offense.
No, and
generally a two-receiver set with a wing and Powell in the backfield there with Isery.
I think you'll see that change this second half. Powell's got to be able to move the ball with his feet as well.
And off, straight ahead. Irizarry off the left side again. We saw him be the workhorse in the first half. And Stottsbury on the stop that time. Short gain, couple, maybe three. And you have to wonder. And Irizarry trying to get off the field, and I think he got cramped up again. He had a cramp late in that first half, and he was getting ready to be substituted there as Matt Frankie stepped in, and Irizarry took a couple of steps toward the sideline and immediately cramped up. So they'll have to attend to him here, and you have to wonder about his availability then going forward for the rest of the half. He's a standout for him on both the offense and the defense.
Right. Again, like we said in the first half when he went out, he's their leading rusher as well. So, 10 rushes for 39 yards so far. Again, Powell actually has 11 rushes, but they need Irizarry in the backfield. But as you said, they have Cam Frankie, who's got plenty of experience, and C.J. Spencer has a couple carries, and Robinson has a few on that cross play, that scissors play. So they've got some other guys they can give it to, but Irizarry is definitely their workhorse so far.
Yeah, he's going to get up and hustle off under his own power, and almost a frustrated limp to the sideline there as he makes his way off without any help. But they'll have to see, at this point they say you want to get fluid. It's too late to get fluids now, right?
Right.
Second and long. Frankie steps into the ball game, and he'll be at the running back situation. And movement up front.
Well, again, the officials are coming together. The head linesman has it on the offense, but they're going to come together just to make sure.
And the offensive lineman pointing to the defense, and it is going to be encroachment on the Bobcats. So that's going to walk off 5 against the Cats, making their task a little tougher. Second down, a long 3. Tight formation for Creek as we see them do what the Cats have done in the past too, is get into a 2-point stance and then step up and look at the sideline for a play change, and sometimes that works and draws the defense
anyway
outside.
you can get your offense in gear.
High snap over the head of Powell. He hustles back on it, and the Cats are going to hustle back on him all the way inside the 20. The Cats converge on him. Stottsbury, Kenworthy there is quickly, and Creek got 5 from the Cats, but I think the Cats got about 15 from that bad snap, and it brings up 3rd and long. And this is a situation that the Redskins haven't had an answer for offensively all night when they've been 3rd and long.
Well, and for Cambridge's sake, you hope that continues. You got to make sure that you got an eye on Sam Coleman.
Coleman on the outside to the right. Bobcats looks like in a zone coverage here as they've given a little cushion on the top there. Powell back to pass, looking to his right, flips his sidearm out there on Coleman on the screen underneath, gets it across the 25 out near the 28, well short though of the first down. And Powell showing a little sidearm delivery that time.
Well, he had some pressure on the outside. I don't know who that was. Andy Ogle coming from the outside, put his big paw up, and now
Irizarry is the punter on this team too, and he's not in the ball game to punt here, so somebody else is going to have to step in there to do this apparently. Looked like Powell was going to drop back and do it. Now they'll run on Zach Byard. So a backup punter, some confusion up front. High snap, Byard will pull it down, low knuckling kick, and that's going to be taken by the Bobcats. Jeffrey on a fair catch out around the 43-yard line. So the Bobcat defense holds here with 9:03. The Cat offense back on the field, leading 20-7. Cambridge with pretty good field position near midfield.
Yeah, great way to start the half if you're Cambridge, to be able to hold them really to not much of a gain. That just the one pass play really, but that's Powell's first pass completion of the game. But Cats getting the ball back at the 44, you got to feel pretty good about that.
3-by-1 set. Cats have 3 wides to the right. Easton Jones offset to the right side. He'll take the handoff straight ahead and be hit at the line of scrimmage, trying to carry defenders for a couple at best. And as we've said a couple of times tonight, running hasn't been an easy thing for the Cats tonight. Good size up front for Indian Creek, and they've always been pretty stout against the run.
Yeah, they're usually pretty aggressive defense, and they're pretty deep in the defensive line standpoint too, so you're going to see a lot of the different faces up there.
Cats will flop that 3-by-1 look. Quick pass right side. Ogle has it, and Devon inside Creek territory across the 50, down near the 46-yard line, close to a first down. It will be another first down, courtesy of WB Green Insurance. Bobcats didn't have a lot of first downs in the first half, but they had a lot of big plays. 1st and 10, inside Creek territory. 3 wides left, 2 to the right. Moore, quick snap. Flips it to the right side. Pulaski sliding catch down near the 40-yard line, and a flag came in late across the middle. And the Cats may have had a illegal man down the field. Let's see what the call is here. Ineligible man downfield. Oh, so the Cats shoot themselves in the foot again.
Yeah, you had Easton Jones came out split over here, and he was on the line of scrimmage. So you had 2 receivers on the line of scrimmage out here on the far side. And when Jones went out,
he covered him up.
That's correct.
5 wide look again. 1st and 15 now for the Cats. Quick pass again across the middle and again through the hands of Pulaski. Good coverage again by Frankie. Cam Frankie right there, step for step. And Pulaski got his hands on it. He's done that a few times tonight. But if he's going to be a consistent target, he's going to have to haul those in.
Yeah, those have to be made. Those catches have to be made. That's a huge play there for the Cats, too.
Staying 5 wide. 2nd and long. Moore. Quick snap, quick pass. Right flat. Has his man. Ogle will haul it in near the 45. Got about 6 back. And if you can do that, you get back to a makeable 3rd down situation. And this was going to be about 3rd and 9.
And I was happy that Devon caught the ball when he was coming back towards the middle of the field on that for 2 reasons. Number 1, he stays in bounds. But number 2, he doesn't let the defender get a good hit on him.
4 wide look this time. 3rd down as Kenworthy comes across in motion. Moore looks that way, then goes deep down the middle. Intended for Caldwell, who couldn't catch up with it. Ball a little bit underthrown, and brings up 4th down. It's kind of that spot in the field. Do you maybe give Moore the option here on a 4th and 9 to do that, as we've seen him do in the past, kind of a rugby-style punt, or run it if he can?
Yeah, I think you will. The regular punter, Jake Valentine, came off on defense on that last possession holding his hand, so maybe I don't know if I'd want him back there taking the snap.
And here comes Moore to the right side, and he will rugby punt it late. And this one's going to float inside the 20, take a big Bobcat bounce inside the 10, and now inside the 5. So an effective punt this time is Moore didn't get the low end over end one, but he got that high floater, and the Cats will cover it and set Creek up in a pretty tough situation, down 20-7. Halfway through this 3rd period, 6:59 left to go.
Yeah, that was real close to being blocked there, too. Kate waited till the last possible second, but a 40-yard punt to put him inside the 5. That was a great play by Caden Moore.
Yeah, for an offense that hasn't shown much ability to throw the ball, at this point when you got to go 95 yards and pound it down the field, that's a tough task. Bow back in the shotgun, takes the snap. Able to get outside left side, 10, 15, and up the left sideline before he's finally taken out of bounds. Cap did not maintain the edge defensively on that play, and Powell, with the big first down, moves them out of the shadow of their own goalpost. Creek's first down since early in this ball game. They had 6 first downs early in that 2nd period. Didn't have another one until that point.
Well, the Cats just got pinned inside on that. That was a great downfield block, too, by the receiver to by Coleman to be able to keep his guy in so Powell could break it outside.
Powell again. Look for somebody to fake it to. No one there. Has to call his own number again and able to make something positive out of what looked like a broken play. And Eli Powell up ahead near the 28. Harrington on the stop defensively for the Bobcats, a pickup of about 4, but continues to keep the clock running. And now lining up quickly again, checking the sideline for the play call. Bobcat defense here just playing loose, keeping everything in front of them as they should at this point in the game.
Yep.
Powell back to pass, fires it out in the right flat, has a man. Coleman right at the first down marker. Caleb Hewison for the Bobcats right there. But it will be just enough to move the sticks again. So the Redskins back-to-back first down to start this drive at the 6-minute mark. Cambridge showing blitz, handoff to Frankie, working right to left. And he'll get near the 39. Caden Kenworthy on the hit for the Cats.
Yeah, defensive end there, Trey Stottsbury holding his ground. The outside linebacker, Trey Stottsbury, holding his ground and pushing Frankie back inside where all his buddies are to help him clean it up.
Valentine back in the game defensively. Second and about 7. And again, Powell looking out to the right, has his man. Coleman catches it, but can get nothing after that. Hewison closed quickly, gave him a cushion, and as soon as that ball was thrown, come running up and give him maybe a 2-yard gain there. Brings up about 3rd and a long 4.
And you're absolutely fine with that. No problem. As long as you are able to make that tackle and not miss and let him get loose, you're okay with that. Number one, it runs the clock. It's just like running the ball. The only bad thing is that it gets Powell in more of a groove. He's completed 3 passes here so far.
Didn't complete any in the first half.
Right.
Powell on the fake and the keeper off the right side. And not much there. Again, Caden Kenworthy, a one-man wrecking crew defensively tonight, pulls him down shy of the first down, 4th down, and a long 2. And at this stage of the game, the late 3rd period, down a couple of scores. You got to be wary of a fake here, especially with your backup punter in the game. That's going to be Byard back in punt formation. Jeffrey back deep for the Bobcats, a single safety. Low snap, bounces a couple of times. Byard able to finally get loose of it. And again, Jeffrey with the fair catch call at around the 30-yard line. So the Bobcat defense equal to the task again. 4:01 left here in the ball in the 3rd period, I should say. And the Cats continue to lead 20-7.
Again, I'm glad it's a broken record for you kids out there that know what records are, that the defense stepped up and made Creek turn it over again. If Cambridge is going to continue to play good, solid defense like that tonight, they're going to be able to come away with a W.
Yeah, Creek's limited passing has helped the Bobcats play a little tighter, I think, defensively. They haven't shown the ability to really throw it down the field much as the Cats line up here 1st and 10. Left hash. Here comes the blitz from the outside. Moore in the backfield, and I think he's going to have to burn a timeout.
Yeah, the play clock is definitely down to 0.
It's going to cost them 5. Delay a game for the Cats. So Cats in the first half didn't have a ton of penalties early in the game, but then they started to build up on them. Plays like this, 5 yards here and 5 yards there.
Yeah, that seemed like an awful quick play clock, but Hellcats they barely made it to the line of scrimmage by the time he blew the whistle.
Moore back to pass and had Caldwell on the comebacker at the 35. And I don't know, JV, if you're keeping track of drops tonight, but that might have to be a stat that you put on your score sheet, because in my mind, that's 5 at least.
I would say 5's a good number for that, but no, I'm not keeping track of it. But apparently moving forward, we're going to have to. Well, it's at least 5 because I'm not going to point out who's been dropping, but I'd say it's probably been 5.
Yeah, well, you know, if passing is going to be your game, you better be able to catch it on the other side of it. Moore on the run pass option there. Couple of steps to his left, flips it out in the left flat. I think that's Caden Kenworthy on the reception end of that. Didn't get a lot, but it moved the sticks a little bit, and as importantly also keeps the clock running in the Cats' favor as well. 3:37 and counting, 3rd and long. Ogle's going to slide to the left side where he'll be in a 2-receiver situation, 2 to the right for the Cats as well.
It looks like Creek is sending everybody.
Yep.
So
man coverage up on the outside.
Pileski across the middle.
Moore takes the snap. Flushed out of the pocket, fires across his body, and that one is complete. Xander Caldwell had to go to the ground to haul it in. Did out at the 35, but that's going to be short of the first down, and the Cats will have to run the punt team in. So neither team able to mount much here in the second half so far offensively.
No, but to get 7 yards back there on that play was big for Caden Moore to at least give us a little bit of room here to punt this ball.
Spencer and Coleman back deep. Valentine in punt formation for the Bobcats. Good snap. Steps into it, spirals it in the direction of Spencer and towards the sideline, takes a Bobcat bounce, big bounce down near the 21-yard line where it bounces out of bounds. And I don't think you can punt it any more effectively where there is no return, and a big kick as well.
Yeah, 43-yard punt there by Valentine. That's exactly what we needed. And you notice he kicked it to the corner away from Coleman and the other deep guys to the open part of the field. So that was a real effective play for the Cats.
As much as anything, that helps your defense right there. It pins the offense back a little bit, doesn't give them an extra offensive play in any kind of a return. And so now Creek, again, still down 2 scores at 20-7, has a long field to go. And they haven't shown the ability tonight to do that. And the Cats haven't helped them out defensively by having a breakdown.
No, but Eli Powell's 3 for 3 so far in this second half.
Powell hands it off straight ahead. Frankie pops it through. Check that. Izeri is back in. And we've seen him in and out with some cramps there. That time showed a burst and got a first down out across the 30 near the 32.
And that's what the Cats can't have. You don't mind them grabbing a few plays, a few yards, but you can't give them up 10 yards at a time.
Keeps the clock running to the 2-minute mark. On the keeper this time, Powell faked it and does not get to the corner. Bo Stoutsbury, Pulaski on the stop as well, and a loss on the play back inside the 30.
And a great read there, too, by Bo Stoutsbury on the outside to be able to stay home and allow Powell to get to him and again, slow him up enough so that those backers can get over there and help him.
2nd and long. Here comes that inside reverse again. Stoutsbury staying home and got a little help from his teammates. Pulaski came hustling in there, but Bo Stoutsbury first hit again on that little inside reverse that brought it back to the near side. Only a gain of a yard or so on that play, and that's their big play opportunity on the ground. And aside from that, they haven't had much through the air, and they're facing another 3rd and long here to the last minute of the quarter.
Yeah, less than a minute to go already in the quarter. This is the kind of quarter that you want if you're Cambridge.
Powell takes the snap, drops straight back, flushed from the pocket. He's going to tuck it and run. Gets out across the 30, made one defender miss, but several other Bobcats come hustling in there. Pulaski on the lead hit again. Stoutsbury there, and well short of the line to make. And out at the 35, it'll be 4th and about 8. Under 30 to go in a quarter. Byard back on to punt the ball away. Jeffrey back deep. Reed Johnson will join him. Bobcats got a couple players on the sidelines getting worked on some cramps too, possibly. They're going to see if they can run this thing all the way down to the end of the quarter. And I think that's going to be the case. That will be the final play of period 3. Heading to the fourth quarter at McFarland Stadium. It's on top of the Redskins, 20-7. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at doanford.com.
Back at McFarland Stadium, fourth period, just about to get underway, and Indian Creek facing a 4th and long. Will be in a punt situation as we flip ends of the field here for the final 12 minutes. Bobcats, neither team really able to get anything going offensively here in the second half. Low snap, Byard will step into it. Low driving kick that Johnson will take and then lose his feet. They had a little room to run on that one as well.
He did. He got a little excited, I think.
But in any event, the Cats will retain possession and start this drive at their own 35. 11:53 to go in the game.
Well, if you want to be a competitive high school football team, fourth quarter's coming around with a 2-touchdown lead. It's time to start pushing people around and run the ball. So
Easton Jones in the backfield with Moore. 1st and 10, 4 wide outs, handoff straight ahead. Jones pops it through to the second level, slides through a couple of tacklers, 40-yard line out near the 45, his best run of the night. And that moves the sticks for the Bobcats. WB Green Insurance, first down.
Not only his best run of the night, but the team's best run of the night.
Yeah. Cats quickly to the line. Again, Jones starts to his right, cuts back to the left. Not much there. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage that time. Gavin Donzilla went out early with some cramps, but that time makes the play for the Redskins. Pickup of a yard.
And here the Cats have to look at that play clock. It's only at 25 at this particular point. So
take their time. 2-back set. Hand off again. Jones straight away. Puts it on the ground. The Cats there to pick it up and may have gotten it forward for the first down. As Easton Jones that time following Caleb Kenworthy through the hole, and that fumble forward was enough to move the sticks again. The Cats pick up yet another first down here, courtesy of WB Green Insurance.
Again, coaches need to recognize that play clock now. Take your time. You want to run the ball. You're starting to get some traction here, so use some of that clock as well.
Again, Jones, he'll work this time off the edge, 40, 35, down to the 20. Rumbling inside the 20-yard line. Easton Jones, another Cambridge first down. WB Green Insurance on the call.
Jones's 9th rushing attempt of the game for 45 yards.
Well, and you know what? Maybe it is a matter of wearing the defense down. And with that, a timeout on the field. We'll take it as well as we head to the break. A shout out to another loyal fan, Marissa Martin. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Do you have diabetes? It is important to monitor your feet regularly. Schedule your appointment with Southeastern Med podiatrist Dr. Joe Davis. Dr. Davis will evaluate you to make sure you have not developed diabetic foot ulcers, neuropathy, ingrown toenails, or other ailments that can deeply impact your overall health. Visit SEORMC.org today to learn more.
High school football
from ABC Sports
on WILE-FM, Byesville, Cambridge.
Back at McFarland Stadium, Bobcats with probably their most impressive drive of the night, starting at their own 35 now in the red zone of the Redskins here. 1st and 10 from the 18. Caden Kenworthy this time on the carry off the right side, and penetration in the backfield caused him to jitterbug his way back near the line of scrimmage. Lucky maybe if he got a yard.
Yeah, had some good pressure from Creek on that outside. Made him stutter step a little bit and try to cut up field.
2nd and call it 10. Clock under 10 minutes left in the ball game. Cats in the scoring zone here. Play action, rolling to his left. Moore will tuck it and run down to the 15 and scampers out of bounds near the 12. He had a Redskin hot on his heels.
Yeah, during that timeout, I think that would have been a conversation that I would have had of clock recognition. So now I'm assuming they did not, because Caden's got to know to stay in bounds on that.
Yep. Morelli on the play. Last play as the Cats again run it left side. And it is Easton Jones running over defenders. That time lowering his shoulder and just going right over top of C.J. Spencer and looking for the end zone, coming up just short of it. And for the Cats, it will be 1st and goal to go. Another first down, courtesy of WB Green Insurance. Jones has been the workhorse, and we said the Cats had to show the ability to run the ball, and they've stepped up here in this drive and been able to do that. And movement up front, and flags come in, and not only offside, but was there a flag maybe on the hit? I don't know. Jones got popped pretty good that time by Cam Frankie, but seemed to be like after the play. Yeah. Cats got the first down, or the penalty there. Will remain 1st and goal. So they'll move it back near the 7 or 8 yard line. Will be 1st and goal to go. Coach Leak out there wondering maybe why there wasn't a call on that late hit.
Yeah,
too.
He definitely was. He wanted it, but I probably wouldn't have called it if I was the official.
Cats will stay in the 2-back set, hand it off left side, and rumbling his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Although a beanbag came in right at the 1 yard line. So let's hold up here. Hadn't been an official signal. Now it is. From 7 yards out, Easton Jones for the touchdown for the Bobcats. First TD of the night for the Bobcats on the ground. But it comes at a time of the game where they really needed one there to kind of put the exclamation point on this one.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they didn't use enough time to going down the field. But, we could have probably ran off another minute and a half there. But, again, you're never going to be upset with
Always
putting 6 on the board.
Perfectionist, right? Parsons on for the extra point attempt. Hold is down. The kick is up. And it is good. Parsons 3 for 4 tonight. And the Cats lead at 27-7. We'll take a timeout. Be back right after this.
What would you do in the event of a total loss if you couldn't rebuild your house? Did you know that 80% of homes are uninsured? Erie Insurance has guaranteed replacement costs. No matter the cost, Erie Insurance will rebuild your house with the like, kind, and quality material. Call the offices of Carr-Antill today at 740-373-6058 or call or text Jim Antill at 740-995-3244 for a free quote. Carr-Antill Insurance. You're covered with us.
Primarily that drive, grinding it out on the ground, something they haven't proved they could do all night long.
Yeah, 7 rushes that drive alone for Easton Jones for 56 yards and the TD. If you want to make a statement, as we said before that drive started, you want to be a good team in high school with 1 quarter to go. They only used 2.5 minutes, but still you have to move the ball down the field, push some people around, let them know this is the way the rest of the game's going to go.
Connor Theo on for the Valentine Insurance kickoff. Coleman back in. He's back deep, but Theo's been doing a pretty good job here of trying to keep it away from Coleman when he's been in.
The last thing you want is to have them get some momentum here and let Coleman get hot.
He'll kick it right to him at the 15-yard line, straight ahead, and takes a big hit, spins away from it out to the 30, 40, and finally chased down from behind. And probably won't say that many times this year as Jake Valentine chasing Coleman down, but jumped on him and pulled him down near midfield. Nobody wrapped him up on that hit at the 30-yard line, and he was able to stay on his feet, and we might have a player down right at that 50. It could be Coleman.
Yeah, he was limping a little bit. That's why we caught him from behind. He
on
took
one leg.
Yeah, he took a pretty good shot there. It looked like, was it Reed Johnson, 22? I think it hit him pretty hard, but didn't wrap him. And maybe Coleman's ankle got twisted up a little bit, but you saw him hobbling down the sideline. That's why we were able to catch up to him.
So they'll mark it at the 49-yard line, and down 27-7. The Redskins will enjoy pretty good field position, but now with one of their key weapons, maybe two key weapons. We haven't seen Irizarry much this half since he's been hampered with cramps a little bit, and now without Coleman, about the only guy you got left is Powell, right?
Yeah, I mean they've got some speed on the team that they're going to have to find somebody else to get it to. And again, right when Powell was starting to heat up a little bit, three completions, all three to Coleman for 20 yards at the beginning of this half. But yeah, he's going to have to find another target for sure.
Well, we have a quick moment here. I want to send out I guess it may be not necessarily premature, but congratulate my son and his fiance and their impending nuptials. It's next week, so I won't be around next week. We'll be attending the family wedding. But Ryan and Marissa, they're listening intently tonight. That Friday Night Football started for them as well. So congratulations to them, and thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, congratulations.
Who knew that they could listen in Toledo?
Well, it's a great new thing called the internet that was invented just last year that really helps that.
Al Gore, didn't he? I think he was the guy that invented that.
That's what he says anyway.
Continuing to address the injury to Coleman on the sideline. Let's step out while they work on him. We'll take a timeout with the Cats on top, 27-7. Back after these messages. Just the way he's cranking on that leg, huh?
He got hit pretty hard. The bad thing was, it was Johnson, I think. He's the safety valve on this side. If Coleman doesn't hurt his ankle or whatever it was, yeah. If you're going to be, that's not your job on the outside, is to come in and make the tackle. You're supposed to push him back.
Welcome back to McFarland Stadium. Coleman finally up and making his way slowly.
Very slowly.
To the other side. Slowly I turn. Step by step. certainly banged up a little bit and limping pretty much like Isra Azari that we saw earlier that had that same kind of deal with the cramps. And a couple of their guys, you even mentioned here coming into tonight's game, have not played a lot in the preseason because of some injury situations. And so we didn't really know a lot about some of the guys that may play for them because of
and one was Coleman,
injury.
and I don't know why he wasn't around for some of the scrimmaging, but several of their starters had sat out at least their last scrimmage, so it could have easily been injury
back
related.
in action. 1st and 10 from the Redskin 49-yard line. Eli Powell takes the snap, hands it off, coming near side. That's Zion McGee, his first carry of the night. Turns it up inside.
Number 67, Sean Harrington on the stop for the Bobcats.
Harrington on the stop for the Bobcats.
And just like that, we have another cramp.
And this one a Bobcat player. Kind of anticipate in early season games, it's going to be warm out. You tell guys all week long to hydrate, but inevitably you're going to have a couple of guys and
standing around for 5 minutes while Coleman was attended to. Everybody's just kind of standing around without being hydrated. Maybe that kind of led to this as well. At least in my professional medical opinion, that's probably
Harrington.
what happened.
Harrington for the Bobcats had a pretty nice game so far tonight. He's been in a lot of play defensively, playing a little bit both ways.
Yep, Sean's a tough kid, only a sophomore, but I've coached Sean a couple times at the youth levels. He's a heady guy. He's pretty aggressive, and he wants to get better. So, and he got some playing time last year as a freshman.
Jacking in 6 from the Cambridge 46. Hand off again. McGee near side, picking his way forward, and McGee with some quickness inside the 40, and one of the linemen for the Redskins down with some cramps now. But just about every play, we got guys going down, and this one looks like it could be Robert Salazar, maybe. Both legs.
He's a big one.
Cramping up. And the Redskins picked up enough to get the first down there, but that guy dropping by the wayside. Takes a couple of trainers to deal with both those hammocks.
Well, yeah, he's a large young man, so they're going to need a third to come over and help as well.
Timeout on the field. Cats on top 27-7 in what is becoming an extended fourth period here. That is Garrett Rawson, and that's a guy that's been playing a little bit both ways as well. If you've ever experienced one of those, let me tell you, it's you don't know what you can do and what you can't do because they just pop right back on you. So he'll be replaced, and the Redskins back in action. 1st and 10, and again McGee near side. This time the Bobcats had the answer for him, and it was Hewison for the Cats who came up and able to sustain the tackle, got a little help, and lost on the play of a yard or so.
Same play three plays in a row to McGee, and McGee, just a freshman.
He showed some quickness.
Sure did. And again,
little jitterbug step in the hole there, got it up the field.
And Creek's pretty excited about their younger groups. Their sophomore, freshmen, and really middle school programs have been doing real well the last several years. So they're real excited about what they have coming up.
2nd and long. Robinson across in motion, and Powell unable to elude defenders long enough to throw the ball down the field. And he'll be pulled down by Connor Mobilini. There's a name.
Said that
Blast from the near past the last few years, yeah. And yet another Mobilini in the long line of hard-hitting kids.
Well, and a great play by Trey Stottsbury out there. If he would have just broke down a little bit sooner to be able to make the hit on Powell, but he slowed him down enough, and Powell couldn't catch his feet after Stottsbury slowed him down.
Loss on the play makes it 3rd and long. McGee shifts to the left side. And the quarterback draw straight ahead, popping it to the outside. Here comes Powell, puts a move on, cuts back inside to 35, down to the 30. And Eli Powell the magician, and making defenders miss that time, has another first down. Keeps the drive alive on a 3rd and long. And really, for as effectively as Creek has thrown the ball tonight, you have to be aware of number 6 running.
Yeah, well, he's their leading rusher on the night in attempts and in yardage.
Handed off McGee, immediately hit by Lopez for the Bobcats. Not much there as McGee tried to cut that one back up inside. Lopez slipped off the block, made the play. And it'll be 2nd and 10, down to the 6-minute mark. And a drive like this might end up in points for the Redskins tonight, but as far behind as they are, it's going to shorten the game a lot.
Sure
as well.
is. Either way, whether they score or not, if you're going to use 6-7 minutes to score a touchdown, the Bobcats are going to be okay with that.
Again, quarterback draw off the shotgun snap, and again, Powell with positive yards straight ahead. And that's been one of their more effective plays, certainly in this drive. But Powell running the ball has been pretty big for him tonight as well.
Yeah, he's rushed the ball 20 times already tonight for only 54 yards, and really 15 of them on the play right before this one.
3rd down 4. Bobcat defense has been big in situations like this all night. As Robinson comes across in motion, tries to get to the corner, slips, and under pressure from Bo Stotsberry goes down. Loss on the play is going to make it 4th and long. So Stotsberry holding his ground pretty well that time, and the Cats will force another 4th down situation here with the clock still ticking away. Under 5 minutes left to go.
Well, and Powell's been their workhorse tonight. You would assume that he's going to keep the ball at this point here, try to get him outside.
Yeah, he's run the quarterback draw in this situation several times, and a couple in this drive, and had pretty good success with it.
It wouldn't be a bad opportunity here for a timeout for Cambridge, just to let that, never mind.
Well,
Creek's going to do it.
Creek's going to do it. They let the clock go down to 0. They'll take the timeout. And with that, we will as well. 27-7, Cats with the lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Do you have diabetes? It is important to monitor your feet regularly. Schedule your appointment with Southeastern Med podiatrist Dr. Joe Davis. Dr. Davis will evaluate you to make sure you have not developed diabetic foot ulcers, neuropathy, ingrown toenails, or other ailments that can deeply impact your overall health. Visit SEORMC.org today to learn more.
Back in McFarland Stadium, Creek with the timeout. They've got 1 remaining. Facing a 4th down and about 7 from the Cambridge 25-yard line. 27-7, game really not in doubt as far as the outcome is. But again, early season, both coaches trying to see improvement in their team as the night goes on and find something that you can build on.
And I think you see that with Creek in this particular drive. I think it obviously they're not trying to give up, but they're certainly trying to establish something positive in moving the ball, and they've been successful so far in this drive.
4th down. Powell puts Robinson in motion, steps up into the pocket and right into the hands of a Bobcat defender. And I think if number 50 for the Cats, that's Braden Jackson, and that sack's going to end that threat. So the Redskins turn it over on downs yet again, and the Cat offense with 4:26 to go will step on the field and see if they can just salt this one away.
Well, I'm guessing you're going to see a big helping of number 32 again, Easton Jones. Worked last time to run off a few minutes and end it with a score. Pretty sure that's probably going to continue.
And Jones, a little action as a freshman last year, and really not a seasoned sophomore. He's going to learn from this experience as well. Cover the ball up a little bit, especially in this situation. He's put it on the ground tonight, but he has an opportunity here to just pound it ahead, and does. The Cats start this drive at the 27, pound that one out near the 29, and the most important thing here is protect the ball and keep that clock running.
That's correct. As we said in pregame, you're going to hear Easton Jones' name a lot this year. He's a bigger guy. He's put on some weight. Heck, he was a quarterback going into last year. So putting him in the backfield with that kind of size to be able to run people over. And the key is not just because of his size, but he's a very aggressive runner to begin with. He likes to
rather run over someone than around.
Absolutely, he does. He has no problem with running into contact. So, but something to learn from, certainly being able to hold on to the ball as the game clock ticks away will be something good for him to be able to be exposed to.
Yeah, I think number 32, I think I had a cousin that played in the 60s that had a similar running style. And Mike Kafir, that he'd rather run over someone than around them. And there might be a little bit of that in Easton Jones as well.
Well, you definitely see it tonight.
4-10, stoppage on the field again for yet another injury. And we have that covered as the Bobcats send the offense out. Clock wound back into play. And maybe with that, working the play clock a little bit here in the last 4 minutes. Moore takes the snap, little toss sweep this time, getting Kenworthy to the edge. Dips in, back out, puts a hand down to keep scooting up the field and gets it out to about the 39, which will move the sticks again. Another WB Green Insurance first down. Bobcats only have about 10 first downs in the ball game, and half of those have come in the last two drives.
Yeah, and I like that play call, getting Kenworthy involved. That's only his second rush of the game, believe it or not. But to put the ball in his hands, a senior's hands, and to give him a couple more touches makes a little more sense.
Yeah, he needs some experience in that role as well. He'll lead this time for Jones again, who rumbles his way into Redskin territory across the 50 and down to the 47. And Jones becoming, early in the game, stuffed a few times, but he's definitely a fourth quarter runner here as he just gets stronger as the game goes on.
And goes straight downhill as well.
Yeah.
Straight down.
1st and 10. WB Green Insurance coming through for us again, sponsoring our first down tonight, and they're getting a call here late as the Cats trying to run this clock down. Under 3 to play. And this time Kenworthy with a stiff arm to get to the corner. 40, 35, and 30. Staying in bounds down to the 29-yard line. Caden Kenworthy with a nice drive that time. And it just looks like Creek is tired at this point. The Bobcats running through arm tackles and away from them. That aggressiveness that we saw of the Redskins early tonight is certainly gone now.
It's definitely faded, that's for sure.
Bobcats showing some good ability here to grind it out. Jones off the right side with the cutback to the 25 and down near the 20-yard line. Easton Jones and Caden Kenworthy, and both these guys, that they look big in pads. You see them out of the pads, they still look big.
Yeah. As I said, Jones has probably put on 30 pounds since last year.
He's a 200-pound sophomore. Kenworthy, a very solid 180-pound senior.
Yeah, and Kenworthy looks like he's put on, if you can imagine, another 10 pounds of muscle, for goodness
sake. If he wasn't a wrestler and trying to grind that weight off every year and then put it back on,
right,
he probably would be bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Cats with a penalty there. 141 as the clock wound back into play. Cats should be able to end this drive. Straight ahead. Jones pops it to the corner on the cutback. Ball knocked out of his hand, and the Cats there to cover it up, though. And if there has been a concern tonight, and that's happened 2 or 3 times to Bobcat ball carriers, they put the ball on the ground.
Well, and when you're going into contact, this is the point we were talking about. To learn at the high school level, you got to cover that ball up when somebody's coming to tackle you, wrap you up.
You can't swing it when you get in the open field and you want to run faster. You still got to hold it tight.
Right.
45 seconds and counting. Straight ahead. Come to, I think, 21, Bo Stottsbury? Or no, that's Trey Stottsbury. He's the slasher type of runner. Getting him in there and the changeup to certainly having Kenworthy and Jones in there that are going to power it right over top of you. Stottsbury's going to slash it and be by you. And that will be the final play of the night as the Bobcats drive it down to the 10-yard line. And we'll see the clock wind down, and they'll pick up the victory in their initial outing of the season. 27-7. Bobcats with the win tonight over top of the Indian Creek Redskins. We invite you to stay tuned. Our post-game wrap-up coming up, brought to you by Doan Ford. We'll have the drive of the game, brought to you by the patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company. The play of the game from West 40 Auto Sales. Once again, tonight's final score, Cambridge 27, Indian Creek 7. Stay tuned. Post-game wrap-up coming up right after this.
Hi there, it's Bill Arnett with the City Tire Pros Scoreboard Show. A few finals now. Zanesville shuts out Newark 41-0. It was Ridgewood shutting out Coshocton 51-0. West M shuts out Lakewood 37-0. A defensive struggle. New Lexington defeats Fairfield Union 13-6. Other games still in progress. Cambridge leading Indian Creek 27-7. Meadowbrook over Maysville 36-19. Buckeye Trail leads Caldwell 30-22. Garraway shutting out John Glenn 27-0. Tri-Valley scores 3 touchdowns, now leads Ashland 28-21. Licking Valley over Sheridan 24-13. Portsmouth East leading Rosecrans 22-14. Philo shutting out Athens 35-0. Union Local leading Monroe Central 32-18. It's Riverview 32, Morgan 14, and at the half, Waterford leading Crooksville 20-7. More scores in minutes on the City Tire Pro Scoreboard Show. I'm Bill Arnett, ABC Sports.
Promises. You've heard them all. Peace of mind, quality insurance products, superior claim service, all at a fair and competitive price. Since 1848, Westfield Insurance has promised to provide excellent insurance coverage for your home, auto, and business. Sharing knowledge, building trust. That is Westfield Insurance's pledge to their customers. For a quote on protecting your home, auto, and business, call W.B. Green Insurance today. W.B. Green, professional insurance.
When it's game night, let Papa John's Pizza on Southgate Parkway feed your team after the game. Hey, this is Shannon. You can create your pizza with all your favorite toppings or pick one of our specialty pizzas like the Super Hawaiian, the Philly cheesesteak, the Works, or the Fiery Buffalo Chicken. Don't forget we also have chicken poppers, wings, breadsticks, and cheese sticks too. Call 740-439-PAPA. That's 439-7272 or order from your phone at papajohns.com.
Looking for new tires for your ride? Mast Tires in Pleasant City should be your first stop. Mast Tires is now under new management and still committed to continuing high-quality customer service and offering competitive prices on top-of-the-line inventory, including Bridgestone, Cooper, Mastercraft, and so much more. Stop in at 519 Main Street in Pleasant City to see Chuck and Brandy. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., and Saturdays, 8 a.m. until 2 p.m., or call 740-685-1199. Mast Tires, the best place to retire.
Friends or family outside the area? Tell them they can listen to this game right now online at yourradioplace.com. 97.7 WILE.
Welcome back to McFarland Stadium. Tonight's victory, Bobcat won 27-7. No Redskins. Cats coming up with the win in their initial outing of the season here at home at McFarland Stadium. Pretty impressive fashion. As the Cats came out of the chute early and scored often. Caden Moore, the shotgun arm to Xander Caldwell, early first half, 10:34 of the first period. Actually a 4-play, 68-yard drive, 47 of them on the Moore pass to Caldwell to give the Cats the early 6-0 lead. But the only offense we saw all night from Indian Creek struck on the next possession. A short field, they go 30 yards in 7 plays. The quarterback, Eli Powell, crossed in the line from 5 yards out. The extra point made it 7-6 Indian Creek, but that would be the last time of the night the Redskins would lead. The Cats would strike quickly at the 9:51 mark, second period. Another Moore pass, this one to Devin Ogle from 30 yards out. The extra point made it 13-7, and the Cats never looked back. Davion Jeffrey, a 64-yard bomb from Moore. Actually, a back-to-back touchdowns from the Cats long distance. One called back, this one not, making it 20-7. That our play of the game brought to you by West 40 Auto Sales. In Cambridge, West 40 Auto Sales sponsoring our play of the game each week, and a lot of big plays for the Cats on this night. And the third touchdown pass by Caden Moore. The final score of the Cats coming in the fourth quarter tonight is Easton Jones wearing the Indian Creek defense out, rumbling in from 7 yards out to make it 27-7 after the Lucas Parsons extra point. And the final score tonight, 27-7 Bobcats. And that impressive drive by the Bobcats, our drive of the game. Every week, patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company sponsors our drive of the game. And that did the trick for the Bobcats. 9 plays, 65 yards, and Easton Jones doing the majority of that damage. And then on the ensuing drive, just to run the clock out, again, Jones and Caden Kenworthy chewing up yards there. Probably made the lineup or the offense look pretty balanced at the end of the night with those last 2 drives. But John Valentine, it certainly was Caden Moore's night to show that he's gotten better than he was a year ago. He didn't put too many balls up for grabs tonight, put it on the money a number of times, and really probably could have had a lot more completions than he did.
Yeah, we talked about it at one point. I got 6 drop passes tonight. So, if you add those 6 balls to Caden Moore's total, it was a pretty darn efficient night. 14 for 24 is the official count. 231 yards in the big 3 first half touchdowns. Really, obviously, the difference in the game. But you're right, rushing. As the fourth quarter went on, Easton Jones ran the ball quite a bit more. But he had 15 touches total for 91 yards, and then the Cats overall 127 yards on the ground. So it did even itself out. But the majority of that, actually 90 yards of that from Jones was in the second half. Yeah. So, and really in the fourth quarter, those last 2 drives. So, 23 rushing attempts total by the Cats. So, yes, it was a little bit more balanced, but realistically it was just that last drive. But a couple guys stepped up, as we knew. We have some athleticism on the outside. We've got some receivers that can make some plays. We knew that coming in. But, again, we also talked about the hands. They're good athletic guys, but we also had to bring that ball in. And that's going to hurt as the season moves if you can't catch some of those balls. And some of them is, look, I don't want to be on a soapbox or anything, but, pick on Caldwell, the one that he had, the comebacker going right back towards Caden. You see everybody in the NFL with these hands that are 15 times the size of these kids and wearing these crazy gloves that can catch that ball with their hands coming back. You don't need to do that at the high school. Catch the ball here like you were taught when we were young.
Pull in.
If you're coming back towards the ball, catch it inside. Your hands aren't strong enough to be able to do that over your head. So little things like that I think would really help. But moving forward, but they're all taught to use their hands so much nowadays. That's just my soapbox.
Nothing the Cats can't correct. First game of the year, there's going to be some things you're going to have to put in order. Mm-hmm. And a couple times tonight the Cats put it on the ground, didn't lose. They lost 1, but probably had a few more fumbles and mishaps, some passes that probably could be caught. Mm-hmm. Those are early season mistakes that you'd like to think as you go on, you get better at. And the biggest thing I think is they got better as the game went on, and many other aspects. And I was still impressed with the defense tonight. They let Creek score. I wouldn't say they let them, but they scored on a short field early. And even though they had a couple of more short field opportunities, the Cambridge's defense never let them get back in the end.
Stepped up huge. And we said it in the first half. That was the thing that I took away from the first half was how impressive we played defensively. And obviously it didn't change in the second half. We really stepped it up several times down here inside our own territory where Creek could have pushed the ball in. And the defense stepped up. They recognized that cross play in the backfield. And Powell only completed 3 balls. He was 3 for 10 on the night. So really, it kept Indian Creek's offense in check. And I think it was their linemen were just a little bit more tired as the game went on. You saw the cramping and those kind of things. So we kind of wore them out as the game went on. But defensively was certainly a really good showing for the Bobcats tonight.
Well, and you'd like to think, we talked about throughout most of the game, will Cambridge be able to run the ball effectively? They did late in the game, but as you just mentioned, maybe a lot of that is due to the fatigue factor of the defense and just grinding them down a little bit. And can the Cats be more effective running the ball, a little bit more balanced early in the ball game? Maybe something now that they've generated the ability to do that late. They can certainly learn to do that maybe earlier in the game and give us a little bit more balance on the offensive side.
Right. Again, a learning experience for the Cats. A lot of good takeaways tonight, but certainly some areas that they can improve upon. So, but to come away with a 20-point victory on opening night against, realistically, in my opinion, a rival team at this point.
Pretty good opponent.
You're going to continue to open with them every year, and they're in your league now. So this is a great statement win for the Cats to start the season off, and Indian Creek is in your region as well. So to get that first W in the region is pretty important.
Learn in a win more so rather than learn in a loss. I mean, you can certainly learn valuable lessons both ways, but it's nice to get the W tonight, and that's exactly what the Bobcats do here on opening night. A 27-7 statement is pretty much a dominant affair. The Bobcats scoring through the air and on the ground and stuffing the Creek offense most of the night. We want to thank our sponsors again tonight for bringing you the action here on radio and in our live stream. Thank you to Valentine Insurance, Doan Ford, patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company, WB Green Insurance, Abel's Heating and Cooling, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Mast Tire, and Papa John's in Cambridge. Our on-site crew here, Adam Green and company, a fantastic job here, and we're going to try to add a couple more wrinkles as the year goes on. We may give you a couple of more things, including some action close to the field. So, I think it's going to be a big year as Adam is down there trying to make tackles with a camera. So, I think you got the ability, buddy. A little coaching, we'll take you back. We'll show you some film. We'll break down film back up at AVC World Headquarters. We'll have you ready by midseason. 27-7 final score tonight. Jeff Reed and crew back at the station. Thank you for your job. John Valentine here with me, Bill Kafuri. Till next week. We'll see you then. Good night, everyone.
High school football from ABC Sports. Tonight's game is brought to you by Doan Ford, West 40 Auto Sales, WB Green Insurance, Abel's Electric Heating and Cooling, Southeastern Med, patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company, Mast Tire, Valentine Insurance, Papa John's Pizza of Cambridge, and Carr-Antill Insurance. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports.